And we got ourselves a team that won the Stockholm Major, and they are here with their full roster up against a team they're very familiar with. It is Team Tundra. And this team, Tundra Esports, coming first in their group. They have chosen their opponents today, and they are looking for revenge. That's right, there is so much revenge to be had, Effie.
Yeah, so this is really interesting because a lot of people may look at it as, why are they picking OG? Didn't OG have a fantastic year, winning LAN event, majors, just doing so well in the DPC? But that is not the case for Tundra. If you guys recall, Tundra topped their group in the Stockholm Major. They went 11-1. Everyone thought they would take the whole thing, but they got knocked out in the lower bracket finals by OG. So there's definitely a little bit of salt there. And in terms of the DPC performances, in all 3 tours, Tundra actually have the advantage over OG. Yeah. So OG beat them 2-0, I believe, in Tour 2, but in Tour 1 and Tour 3, Tundra 2-0'd OG when they were in major winning form. So, I mean, Tundra are out for blood here. They're out for revenge.
And also one thing to note, it's like Skeeter during the DPC, he talked about Tundra on land acting like a bunch of heralds. These are his words, but you know, they had some really good results. They got second at Dubai land, they got third at the Stockholm Major, but still, like right now, I want to see how this is going to influence them. Like the first game, if they manage to win the first game here against the OG, I think that's going to give them a big boost of confidence.
The thing about Tundra is when they're on and when they are playing well, they are one of the funnest teams to watch in Dota because they are so innovative with the ideas that they bring. Their offering player in 33 always has something cooking in terms of hero picks and how he plays the maps. You always see him hiding in some tree line, trying to make a play, cutting some waves.
Oh, yeah.
One time I saw him drag 3 waves on Bristleback, minute 10, and just like get a Radiance so quickly. It's very, very interesting how he plays. And of course, when you talk about Tundra, you have to talk about 9, the unusual hero player.
Yeah, he just plays weird stuff. Like, the thing with this team is even when they're like not performing, which, you know, like first half of Tour 2, I think they underperformed and then they ended up bringing it back in the second half. People still look at them for what they're doing because every other pro player is just like, okay, well, this team maybe as a team they're having some issues, but they still innovate, you know. You still want to copy the Earth Spirit mid and the buying boots and going to the secret shop and buying a Quelling Blade on a support and cutting these trees to get wraparound plays. Like, yeah, they're just such an innovative, smart team.
But also, Tundra is buffed right now because I don't know if you guys realize the pattern, but every time a new patch comes out, that's when Tundra plays best. For the last year and a half, they were always on top of the new patches. And yes, maybe this patch before TI wasn't that enormous, but it was still enough to give Tundra that advantage just based on the Dota mines that they have that we talked about in AUI, in 33. So I'm sure this is going to be a really good series.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about OG. Of course, the opponents of Team Tundra today, OG has done very well this season, but they haven't done so always with the same roster. Oh, they didn't change their roster. That wasn't the problem. They had some visa issues, but it's been a while since they've been with the full 5.
Yeah, I mean, they did attend every single LAN this year, getting the experience for the players. These are new, young players, so definitely what they needed to be able to compete with the others. And for them, it felt like they just did it so quickly. Usually it takes time, but for them to just gel together so quickly. And yeah, you can tell, even without having a full squad, they're so good at adjusting to what they have, playing with Seb and Chu, and just still being able to dominate.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic series for sure, and a fantastic draft coming your way right now.
OG versus Tundra Esports. Game 1.
That's right, the two Western powerhouses of OG and Tundra are both matching up against each other here. And while they may be coming from the same region, we've got two very different styles, right, Quinn?
Yeah, I think OG's a team that picks very much spellcasting heroes. They pick the stuff they like. They're a very specific drafting team, whereas OG are like Tundra are the biggest like lane fiend nerds. Pull this wave, drag that, buy that.
Yeah.
They're like Giga if you can try hard about it.
I think these are two teams. If you're not studying the itemization that these players have done over the last year, you're not studying the itemization of Dota right now. I mean, you talk about the masterminds behind these teams too, Aoi, Seb, Ju, like these guys are the itemization kings of Dota, in my opinion. You look at what Tundra brings to the table, you look at what OG brings to the table, they play around with their timings, they play around all 5 of them coming online at the same time, hitting the power spike, ending that game, and drilling it into your Aegis. You have to be ready for this matchup.
Now, the draft is going to be coming in soon, but what is your guys' early anticipation? Any standout heroes? I mean, we saw Perch earlier with the breakdown. He was talking about the Crystal Maiden. That seemed to be very important for Tundra. They've had great success with it. Anything else?
I mean, I think this series will be pretty different than a lot of the other series in the tournament. That I think both of these teams aren't ones who typically like stick super strict to the meta. I think they sort of pick their own things. I could see SF get like much more ignored than usual, or just not really cared about that much. I could see Primal not cared about that much, except for maybe mid for Tundra. I think there's a lot of heroes like Doom potentially that we see more priority on than usual.
Yeah. All right, well, we already have our draft underway. First couple of bans are going to be coming out soon. But, I mean, just talking about the story between these two teams before we see the bans, these are two teams who have gone back and forth all season long. We heard Effie talk about their history. I think one of the interesting notes is that the only time they matched up against LAN was Stockholm Major. They matched up against each other in groups, and that Tundra did manage to get a 2-0 there.
Yeah, the land didn't go exactly that way either, right? I think this OG squad, maybe it's the organization, maybe it's the players. It's probably a combination of both. It feels like they are always somehow the underdog. Every year they come in, they have more rings, more land wins. This team has multiple. They have a major win this year, and somehow they're still the underdogs. I don't get it. I don't know how they do it.
They trick people, you know? They trick people into thinking, oh, look at that, OG. They're like, okay, yeah, you like that Crystal Maiden? We'll take it for ourselves. First pick.
That's the way to do it.
This first phase is actually ridiculous. These bans, like, if you looked at it from any other series, you would have felt like they random all the bans. But these teams specifically just don't care about meta. There's just a hoodwink first phase ban at TA. There's a Potom. I don't know. It's crazy.
These two are two teams who definitely have been trying to set their own meta, especially in the first phase. I mean, the two most contested or prioritized supports for these two teams is the Crystal Maiden for Tundra and Oracle for OG. Yeah. Like, is anybody else playing these heroes? Is anybody else playing for Oracle in this tournament? Probably not, right? And it sets up for a really weird phase. And now we're seeing Mirana come out. You know, something about Tundra yesterday, AUI was in the chat, and he said that Snaking got that Crimson Mirana drop.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And I said, oh, we're going to see a Snaking Mirana tomorrow. And lo and behold, first phase Mirana coming out for Tundra. Not a hero they have played a huge amount this tournament. And honestly, it can be a weird hero for them, because I like to think of Tundra as this 5-man ball team behind 33's hero, right? 33's on an initiator like a Doom or something like that. They play that way, but generally he's on a Brood, a Visage, a Beast, a Lycan. Yeah. Heroes that Mirana can be weird with because you lack the stuns. It kind of falls to 9 to pick up something like an OD or a Tiny from mid. Maybe they're flexing his Tiny to mid.
So for another team, there would be a lot of flexibility here. Like Secret, they would have the possibility of running like an off-lane Mirana, right, for resolution. But it sounds like to me, Avery and Quinn, you're saying that like it's probably not likely just because it's not really a 33 hero, right?
I mean, I think it's possible it's actually a Potom mid. There were several pubs that 9 played the Potom mid. I imagine they scrim with it some as well. I think that is sort of this 9 hero. He buys, you know, some Glip Flop. Yeah. You know, he shoots some arrows. I think that's something 9 could pull out. I think this 8 pick is really interesting. Whenever a draft goes weird like this, their 8 pick becomes much less about like you've structured everything and more about like reading the situation, like what do your players feel, like what makes sense in sort of hero combinations. And they pick this Ember with the CM. I think it's something that BZM is really comfortable on. And you have like they love this long range spell damage. This, you know, Crystal Nova, the Bull is from long range. I'm sure they're going to pick much more poke. You can maybe see Dark Willows or things like that later down the line. I think that's like a sort of the theme that OG likes for like a lot of their drafts.
I mean, it's one way to use this Crystal Maiden hero. There's a reason OG stole it from Tundra here. There's a reason Tundra has had such a high win rate with it. This hero is one of the ultimate poke heroes in the fight. She can get a bit tankier now in the meta. You build a 4-staff, you build a drum, you have these fluffy hats built in. It's only your 1700 HP. You combine that with a Wraith Pact or a pipe that comes out from your offlaner, and suddenly you have to dive deep against Crystal Maiden, who's supposed to be a squishy backliner.
Yeah.
And it takes you a lot longer to kill her, and all of a sudden it's really annoying.
She pops her ultimate, gets all that armor, makes herself a target. You have to go in and stun her.
Like Quinn's saying, combine it with something like an Ember that's going in, you're already getting nuked down, you're already getting chained, and then you still have to dive further to catch this backline. It becomes very annoying very quickly.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting dynamic. I mean, OG is a team who doesn't typically buy this Wraith Pact item because Amara is generally more of a carry type player, so they'll end up with a lot of lineups that just have like, 5 heroes with spells, and nobody's, there's not this like defensive sort of ball lineup, whereas Tundra, I think, is a team that will check all the boxes by one drum, one veil, one Wraith Pact, we go down one AC, we go down the line and we have all the items, and we sort of play in this ball and play very structured. We hit the guy that's closest to us, we don't like, move too far out.
I mean, honestly, I feel like this opener is a very anti-Tundra opener in saying we're going to let a lot of that zoo through. Like, they're not banning Visage, they're not banning Beast, they're not banning these heroes that can up the tempo, push the towers, ball up. They already have Maiden and Ember who can go a Maelstrom build, give you extra AoE, push the lanes out quickly. Crystal Maiden drafts in general, you get the extra mana, a lot more nukage on the map. You're going to stall that lane push into the objective taking. This is a scenario where does Tundra really want to go into those Visage Beast types heroes second phase for 33? They're leaving the Brood in as well, which is something we saw first phase ban versus Tundra a lot of this group stage. And when they got it, I mean, 33 is an absolute monster on that hero, right?
Yeah.
So OG is fully aware of what they're leaving in the pool right now, and they have to be thinking about it. I think the only real Amar answers to that huge summons coming out have been Sand King.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Timbersaw and the Pangolier ban, which are, two of like the biggest anti-zoo. I mean, I think that approach from OG is pretty cool and something you maybe have to take against Tundra. Like when a team has all these random scary offlane picks, like most meta teams do, there's all this random zoo and all this crap, and if you just sort of leave it all and you have responses, or you, like Avery said, you structure the beginning of your draft to be like, very sound against it, I think that's a pretty good way to play against them, because you don't have to worry about all this garbage. You just like pick a well-rounded lineup that works for you that happens to be good against the general stuff they like.
Now, do you guys think that Tundra, is it possible that they swerve at all, or do they stick with what they're strongest with and just say, okay, you guys are going to try and beat it, but you see it coming, but we're going to run with it anyway? I feel like Tundra is that kind of team, right?
Yeah, I don't know if Tundra are much for swerving. I think they typically stay straight on the road, follow the traffic lines. We're buying that Wraith Pact whether you like it or not.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
AUI is definitely a law-abiding citizen, that's for certain.
Most certainly.
I'm trying to think of what OG wants in the second phase, because these bans, again, we're talking about they don't have to ban the Zoo. They're opting to ban Ursa, Lifestealer. These are like very specific carry matchups. It's also perhaps targeting Skeeter's hero pool, because he has paid a pretty small hero pool this tournament. And we're talking about, Lifestealer, the Ursa, the Naga. The Naga especially, OG has to be thinking about it. Again, this opener is another opener that's great against the Naga down the road. Like, they're already blocking a lot of these big heroes that Tundra wants, which might be why we're seeing this Mirana come out earlier. Maybe Tundra is going to be the one to swerve and just say, we're just going to take the fight to you. I think they still want this Wraith Pact hero for 33. There's no Doom in the pool.
Ganda ng keyboard, tas di magaling maglaro, no?
Yeah, that does look like a Tusk mid.
At least maganda
That's
keyboard.
what I'm feeling. If I see Tusk on Tundra, I'd be like 9 is he's going to click it no matter what. He's just, even if he's not supposed to play it, he's just going to click it first.
So doesn't this lock down our heroes? Aren't we kind of set then at this point in time that
Ulit nga nung
It
hard.
does look like Neta's playing bottom.
yeah. So
Maybe. Or that Crimson Snaking Mirana, he wanted the
I mean, okay, so if Snake King's playing that Mirana, just 5 Mirana, you think he'd make that work?
Not a big 5 Mirana is a very specific hero.
To be honest, I think this might, we talked about sort of the lane nerdiness. I think this might have been something they considered in draft practice. I think whenever you have two teams that have such specific heroes like this, you can sort of pin down a lot of like heroes people might like. They probably understand the CM very well. Maybe they have some idea about having this kill potential on the CM in lane. They have tossback. They have this like avalanche into arrow. Like it's really scary for CM to play this lane. If she's playing against Pod and Tiny, like that's a terrifying lane. And potentially they're just trying to feed off this Misha CM and just sort of snowball things. Because Neta's a player who, if you give him a lot of gold, he can play any hero.
All right, Avery, you brought up this 4-position Oracle. Why are we doing this?
Talagang
What is the
mahilig
theory?
sa Oracle
Well, this could be a
tong
4
OG.
Oracle, could be a 4 Crystal Maiden. We don't know. I mean,
Okay,
it could be anything.
true. Yeah.
So one of the things about OG is they have 3 of the cores who get the most farmed altogether of any team in the world. I think we're used to that by now. They're the ultimate tri-core team to some degree. 3 carries, unless you have a Marseille King, it's probably still building
Salamat sa mga nanonood. Pa-share naman ng live, kapalike na rin.
There's the Sand King. One of the things OG has to figure out in some of these metas is how do you bounce
OG
that
tayo
with
ha,
utility?
OG.
How do you bounce it with stuns? How do you bounce it with utility? And in some of their past tournaments we've seen, there's a reason Seb at Stockholm was playing Wind Rangers and Shakers to give them the long range stuns for the damage to go in. There's a reason at this tournament there's supports have been healers, double 4-staff buyers, Glimmer Cape, right? Like rush the utility to bring your tri-core online in those mid-game fights. Sand King or some of these utility heroes from Mars another way to do that. And so to me, this OG draft is this is super anti-Tundra. It's like we're not going to get too greedy. We're going to make sure we have the sustain, the lane shove, the AoE to take the early tower defense fights. I like this approach. Like this is a very hard draft to skirmish into.
And I just want to point out, like, that means if Taiga, it means Taiga has to take a step back, right?
Yes.
Like, in order to enable the rest of his cores. And that's kind of that's something that he has had to do for this team, both inside and outside of the game, right? He has had to put himself more as a captain. He's had to be more sacrificial in order to enable, all the new guys.
Yeah, I think that's a role that he's definitely slid into. You see in the past, he plays, Rubik every game, plays Enigma every game, and I think more recently, you're seeing Oracle, you're seeing, these random 4s with low net worth, like Avery said, buying 4-staffs, stuff like this. I mean, I think this Slark pick is very cute. I think it sort of goes back a bit to Tundra being a super laning team. I think if this Slark +1, if you play the lane really well, the Sank can be very vulnerable, and if things start getting out of control, this Slark here, he's running around at night. I think while OG does have a lot of sort of defensive capabilities, the heroes also are very similar in terms of the way they deal damage. It's a lot of magic damage that's sort of very static. It doesn't scale very hard. So if you fall a little bit behind, suddenly your heroes aren't able to connect together as much. And it's just Slark running around at nighttime, diffusing people, burning your mana. Like things can get kind of scary in terms of the way OG deals damage.
I mean, OG's going to need a big physical hero here out in the last phase. And they're banning the Beast, so they're still a little worried about this last Zoo didn't come out.
Ako ba yung halatang walang ligo? Oo nga, wala pa boss kasi ganito pa rin ang damit ko kahapon eh.
This is something where Blink Deso and just destroy these back.
Oo nga, Mark Vincent. Oo nga, hindi pa ako
There is
naliligo.
no armor on this OG side right now until we're talking third item Shivas on Ember or something way down the road. So I'm a little worried about OG being able to defend against the early physical out here. If it's a core Marana, right, you can go early. Diffusal, you can just go into Falcon Blade. I don't know, whatever you want to go on core Marana these days, who knows, right? But you have the tag team to buff it up.
Very good,
and this Tusk pick seems really good right now. This is a hero that annihilates these squishy backliners. They don't have the best front line against it. I don't know if there's a frontliner OG can get to help solve this problem from the carry role.
Sila naging medyo
like these lone druid type heroes in the past. Morphling is another one that you can go in and tank a bunch. Gives you the armor here.
Yeah, it also shifts some dynamics in that you get this act at some point, and you go from having all these backliners to, wow, now suddenly you have a fish of your own who's jumping all over the place, and you get more vision from this. Slark's going to lose a lot of damage. A lot of that scary kill threat on some of these backline heroes. Maybe you have this, Morphling suddenly who's just leaping around like a crazy person, and it's hard for Tusk to go on him, and you give some space for your Oracle and CM to play, some space for your Sand King to look for stuns. It opens things up a little bit.
There's OD, though.
There is the Decorator.
Tundra loves this OD as a Morphling counter. They have picked it every time. You rush that, you go Midas into Ags. 9 has annihilated the games on this hero. I feel like this is a snap OD pick for Tundra here. They get a save for the Sand King initiation. You get Astrals for this Oracle long-term fight. You can do very well versus the Ember mid. This is a matchup that people historically liked. I think it should be fine now with the Astral and the Orb buffs.
Yeah.
Ayos lang yung Mark, tunay talaga.
They opted for the Beast and Enigma bans. I can understand those.
Bulag na mo, Lods, may tanong ako. Sino best top 3 teams para sa'yo?
How much do they elevate 33 in his pick and his style, and they stick with what 33 is best with. They do not go for what you were saying was potentially getting 9 the game-winning hero. They stick with 33. They stick with the formula that has gotten them here and gotten them so far in previous turns.
I just wanted that Tusk card. I wanted it too bad. I think Visage was the other hero I'm considering just because there's, you have to play it into this early CM Ember Spirit, there's this Sand King, but at the same time you can destroy the positioning from Oracle in the fights. It is a 4 Oracle, so taking him out removes a decent chunk of the net worth and sustain from OG's side. And Morphling doesn't punish this hero too hard on lane. I feel like you can get out of it a lot of times. And I mean, it's Tundra. It wouldn't be Tundra without a Wraith Pack buyer, Wraith Pack by Basie.
All memes aside, it's a really good Wraith Pack game, and they didn't have somebody to buy it yet. And you need to buy the item. Like, it's a really good item right now.
I mean, just looking at Ember Spirit Sand King, it's like I'm salivating for a Wraith King.
Oh yeah, the Wraith Pack pipe is going to be deadly here for OG for a huge portion of this game. Because again, their only real physical scaling is on this Morph lane until we're talking about Ember super late game.
Sure.
You're fighting in a Wraith Pack pipe or Wraith Pack AC, which is the other build he's gone on this Visage. It's going to be hard to like contest the Roshan or the early towers once this Visage comes online. So I would say name of the game is try and slow them down on lanes as much as possible.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you're saying this timing of like Pipe Wraith Pact is deadly, and we also identified Tundra as a big lane-winning team, that feels like this could turn into a nasty snowball of a game.
Yeah, I can definitely see this CM versus Visage dynamic going both ways. CM wants to spam you down, now suddenly Visage has a bazillion Soul Assumption stacks, and you get gone on and you just explode instantly. And suddenly this Visage is getting 6 early, your Morphlink's getting kicked out. I think OG needs to be really tight in this early game to not just like, oh, suddenly, oh, there's birds everywhere, and there's a, you know, Walrus Man, and you're just getting run over.
The deadly Walrus Man.
It's going to be all kinds of zoo here for Tundra with a Walrus Man, a fish, a bunch of birds, and even whatever Mirana is riding. But our game number 1 of Tundra versus OG is about to get underway. Avery, we were talking before about some of the stories coming into this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
And there is a pretty interesting one here for Tundra, right?
I mean, if you go back 10 years ago, that's a long time in Dota terms. Snaking used to play on an old team called Team Dignitas way back in the day. And you know that Team Dignitas? It had AUI on it. It had another good compatriot in Universe on it.
Yep.
It had our good friend Fogged on it. Of
course.
And I remember when I picked up Snaking for VGJ, Snaking told me, I feel like since those 10 years ago,
and we dim the light.
but you know, those 10 years ago, all my friends I used to play with went on to do great things. AUI and Universe went on to win a TI.
Yeah, that's
Fog, Giga, Chad, Caster, you know, OD, what can you do? And I think back to that story because to me, this is the TI where Snaking is now leading the team. He is captain. He has grown over 10 years.
Yep.
And, you know, Fog's watching backstage. Howie's watching from literally behind him. Universe probably watching from home.
From his living room.
What's the worst?
Yeah, I think it's his year to kind of prove like, hey,
Very cool of you.
I'm going to live up to the legacy that you guys set and actually achieve the dream that I saw all of you go that passed me by to a degree. It's a bit of a Bible thump story, you know. I'm not
Battle pass nga ako, level 23 pa lang eh.
If he does manage to beat OG
Natapos
here,
na
I mean, he's already achieved so much at that point in time that OG is one of the scariest teams to be able to match up. You can get that momentum, being able to beat them in the upper bracket. Who knows how far Tundra can go? I mean, that's a great story just because Snaking, from everything that I've heard about him, you know, he's gone through some teams and stuff, and I've heard that he's like can be a little bit hard to work with. But the one thing I've never heard is that he never lacks when it comes to hard work.
No,
he is there day in, day out.
This match has literally been 10 years in the making for him.
Yeah,
like I mean that literally. This guy has grinded Dota for 10 years, and you're going up against a team that is, in some ways, brand new. Like this is an OG debut squad. It's kind of like experience and the veteranship that Snaking can bring to his team versus this fresh energy and idea creation and all of that OG is known for and has destroyed people with for the year. Yeah. To me, that creates an interesting back dynamic to this game that is like, I'm very excited to see how it pans out.
And on the other side, we have somebody from OG who definitely not quite the same length of the story when it comes to Snakings, but Misha, I mean, he went through 12 different teams before he finally ended up on that OG roster. He was a coach, and now he's there as a player and stuff. Like, he took a while. He was, like, grinding through. You go through his history, it's like 2 months here, 2 months there. You know, like, he was just grinding through the Eastern European scene, and he finally has found a home. And look at the success he's gotten. I mean, he was obviously going through that many teams that quickly. He obviously was not complacent, right? He was obviously just searching for the team that could win him TI. And, well, he's found a place here, and they've already had a great amount of success this season. And it would be a damn shame to head to the lower bracket now. But let's get into it. Pause is done, and we are into it. OG versus Tundra, Game 1.
Magka-region sila rin magkalaban.
33 going for that Blight Orb. An aggressive build on this Visage. Sometimes we see the early Blade or just early stats for extra last hitting, but it tells me Tundra wants to fight on this lane, try and abuse the squishy support, and if it's Oracle or Maiden up there early, and just trade for the kills. We'll see if it pays off. Soxa doing some early ward checking. Got the Windlace up already.
It's crazy how many small items he has queued up in his quick buy. Like, just, you know, there's a Mango, there's a Clarity, there's a Tango. Like, they're ready for this lane. I think something that Tundra does in lanes that very few other teams do is in their off lane, they won't just like, we're either pulling waves or not pulling waves. Like they'll do it randomly in the middle of the lane. Oh, it's 2.5 minutes. Let's pull a wave here for this specific reason. And people aren't used to reacting to that type of thing because they do it in like very specific situations. So suddenly the other team does the wrong thing with the wave, and the wave's by Tundra's tower, and now you're like, huh, we can't lane anymore. I think these types of little sneaky things, like they're super aware of.
I mean, this Tundra off lane is one of the ultimate lane.
Yeah, they're really
disruption teams. You don't know where the waves are. There's a wave by your tier 3. There's another one by their tier 2. You're like, am I even in the lane anymore? Or is the lane in the Roshan pit? It's just so annoying to play against. It makes everything you think about what's happening in the lane get thrown off.
Ng OG to.
Yeah, and you can also,
Tundra.
potentially a team like OG, a younger team, is the first
Lakas ang
team or
tiyangsa
first time
nitong
at TI for a lot of them. Suddenly you're out of your comfort zone. There's, you're laning in the
Kayang-kaya
river.
nito Secret at
Things can be a little bit, maybe that throws them off more than it would throw off another team.
Normally,
Tundra na lang ang malakas, wala na LGD.
If I've learned anything about OG this year, their comfort zone is quite literally the entire world. Nothing happens. In fact, I think the more you throw this team off, the more they get in zone. Like, if you think you're tilting Amar and he's buybacking early, now he just goes 20-0, right? How many times have we seen this?
Many times. We talked about that quite a bit, the question of whether or not you should shut down Amar, because it just seems like if you do shut him down, he comes back with a vengeance. We're currently watching the matchup of 9 versus BZM. We see the top lane of Yuragi and Misha in that Morphling lane. We said the lanes are super important here to keep Tundra from being able to snowball. So what are the things we're looking for when it comes to these side lanes in particular?
I mean, the lane equilibrium already disrupted top for Tundra. It's a great sign for them. They just want this lane back so the Visage plus melee hero can go to work, especially if they get level 2 and level 3 fast. This Misha Maiden already got nuked down really hard. And this is kind of a bad sign. You don't want this lane shoved out so fast for Crystal Maiden. She kind of wants to wear you down over the course of that shove out and get the kill at the end.
Yeah.
And that bottom lane, it's a similar story. OG wants this lane back for the Sand King so he can farm. Tundra wants to keep it up so Snake King can play the lane with the right clicks. Equilibrium super important for these two side lanes early on.
You said it, Quinn. It looks like Tundra have already identified we're going to abuse this Crystal Maiden lane. We're going to try and go for those kills. I mean, they're going for it without a nuke on Soxa. They were just throwing the tree at him and hoping to get 33 to maxed out stacks.
I feel like Misha's going to die here.
Oh, yeah.
He is very slow, very low. You have the Blight Orb on top of these tree hits. Very scary lane for this Crystal Maiden, and you do not want to feed the first blood to this Visage. It is the one way you're going to power up as early game the most.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the CS bottom lane as well, and the HP levels. This lane, since they opted to put the bottom 5, you don't have as much kill threat in this lane. A bottom Slark is very much chipping you down, abusing right clicks, abusing like individual skill in the CS. And I can definitely see a world where if Tundra plays as well, suddenly Sand King's low HP, can't come up to the wave. This is essentially, oh my goodness.
Ooh, that was a lot of damage. Skater actually.
That was a crucial mistake from Skitter, staying up a little bit too long while Sand King's getting the pull off, feeds that kill away. Now suddenly Amar, 700 gold, he's going to have plenty HP, plenty regen.
Yeah.
Totally changes the trajectory of this lane.
I mean, that's huge for them. This is, if OG can pick a hero to have a good early lane, it's probably the Sand King, because normally this hero gets abused. So if he's getting accelerated, it's even better for them. I mean, that was that lane getting pushed deep, right? You get the caustics, you get that burrow. Equilibrium. Winning OG one of these side lanes at least.
Quinn, talk to me about this mid matchup, because you're a bit of an expert. I mean, you also have a enemy mid that you play up against quite a bit, and Gunner, who also plays the mid tusk all the time.
Yeah.
We're going to watch Taiga, actually. Looks like he's going to be chased down here. Snaking. Double high ground hit.
That was the Crimson item. That was the Crimson
It was the
Mirana.
cosmetic pay to win right there.
normal.
But yeah, talk to me about Tusk versus Ember.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that 9 picked Tusk into Ember. I think for a lot of people, they'd be pretty happy playing Ember into the Tusk because he just can't kill you ever, and Tusk is a hero that thrives off of early kills, early momentum. So it's kind of interesting that 9 picked that. I mean, 9 is a player with a very specific hero pool. But I think both sides will farm early, but it's one of these lanes where the Tusk needs to get stuff done other places, because at some point you're going to start getting slighted infinitely, and you'll have a way to deal with that regen, right? You can't really punish the Ember back. He's going to sit there and keep pressing this stupid button on you, and you lose all your HP. And so Tusk is sort of on a timer in that regard. Like, you see the CS is very even, but you can already see the slight starting to add up. Once level 5 comes around, level 7, it sort of becomes uninhabitable for Tusk.
I mean, you think he's just going to rotate super early this game, or do you just take it and get what you can? I mean, obviously the Tusk game plan is they probably don't care about this lane too much, right? Whenever you pick mid-Tusk lanes, whatever, it's about getting into the mid-game where he's going to one-shot the backline. But do you try and force these early rotations to make up for this lane being a bad matchup?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that depends on how this top lane goes. I think that's where you're really happy to have a player like Neta in the offlane, because your offlane is doing pretty well right now. You can look at the CS, Morphling very, very low, not doing the greatest in CS chart. Because if Morphling's having a good lane, it's pretty hard for this Tusk to go top. But now Morphling, he's getting a little bit low. Maybe Visage gets a 6 faster. Maybe suddenly Tusk, comes up here and tears the game open.
I mean, talking about that, you're getting doubled up on Morphling. It's pretty bad. And another Burrow Strike fight.
Yeah, Sandstorm doing some work. Snaking's going to hop out of it to be able to finish off Taiga. Should be no problems there. And you can see the strength of the Slark is building up now against this Sand King. He has no options here. He's going to be blocked up. He does manage to pick up the bounty rune, yes, but it's all but inevitable. He's going to go for the Burrow Strike, perhaps to the other side of the cliff, but he gets hit by the snowball first before he could get the jump away. 2 kills in the bottom lane for Tundra, making up a bit for that first blood.
That's better than a bounty rune in my book. I'll take it. You also get the permanent essence shift agility on Slark because he got the last hit, so
true.
Skeeter's gonna be happy about that one.
Yeah, I mean, also some time where the Slark gets to sit in the lane for free. The faster you get to the 6, the scarier it is for Sand King, who's now suddenly the Sandstorm chip damage, like Slark doesn't care. He'll run into it, he'll hit you a bunch, he'll take a bunch of that damage, and he'll reset. And suddenly, on Sand King, you don't have a way to regenerate that HP. The lane can start to get a bit dicey. Maybe Tusk comes there and ganks you and kills you, and you have to, it can get very hairy very quickly.
So maybe the most important thing was the experience that he got out of those kills.
I think that was a really big deal.
That's definitely huge. I mean, it's also about this Verona doesn't want to sit down here and leech his XP forever, right? At some point, she wants to go roam, play around the Tusk, play around the Visage, who's having a very good early game. Let the Slark get the solo XP, push him up to the level 6 faster. He will abuse the Sand King on his own. This game is going to come down to these rune fights, 6 and 8. 6-1's coming up right now. Sox on top, Snaking to the bottom. They want to deny this Ember the rune. They will.
Invis for the Tiny. He's going to sneak away into the night, pick up the bounty rune while he's there as well. And we'll see whether or not, do they have vision of the Invis rune? Is it possible that he sneaks up on the Morphling here?
He might sneak up on his courier.
Yeah, that's actually what's really going to happen here. Bye-bye, courier.
Mildly annoying. I mean, despite the CS and, maybe the Morphling's HP levels, his net worth is, pretty on par with Visage. The scary thing about this lane, though, is that it only gets worse for Morphling. Once you get to 6, suddenly the dynamic changes, and Visage just keeps on you. You're morphing down, your armor's going lower, he keeps on you, your armor's going lower, and you can sort of get, kicked out of this lane, potentially dive. That's super high HP.
I mean, I think 33's had an amazing lane stage this game.
Yeah.
Like, this is a hero that can't get super abused. That's ideally what you want, but he's already just to level 6, 0 deaths. Higher CS than the Morph. I mean, I don't think Yuragi sat on this lane, but if you're 33, you're super happy. Because again, you are the core of these Tundra lineups. You want to get that Wraith Pact and the auras online. The faster you do, the faster you're enabling everybody else in the type of game Tundra wants to play.
Yeah, I mean, you also know as this Visage, pretty soon there's a Walrus coming your way, and there's going to be tower dive, and it's pretty scary for this Morphling. We'll see how much they try to react to this when it happens.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see 9 just make that move with the Visage 6. Like, help him kick him out if they feel like they need the help to kick him out. Because again, like you said, I don't think he wants to just keep sitting mid against these slights.
Yeah, I mean, you can see him squirming and dragging.
They're trying it up, but the burst damage is actually not even
Very
close.
good, very good.
Thanks to, in part, the raindrop that he had. So, Yuragi will go full agility, try and get back some HP where he can. 8-minute rune is coming up. Amar is actually in the neighborhood. Maybe OG is going to put some serious effort here. 9 is going to be chased down by the 2 supports. BZM hoping to catch up and get a slight.
Gonna go for it.
He's going to go for it with the remnants and a little bit more. They got the fairy fire. Here comes Arrow. Nice shot from Snaking. Beautiful play by him. Snaking. Long-time Mirana player. I mean, going all the way back to bottom. He's been playing this hero for quite some time. It's a little bit new on the 5 position, but he has some history for sure.
I mean, if you're going to play 5 Mirana, you better hit your damn arrows, son. That's all I know. If you miss those, your impact goes down incredibly. But definitely bailed out his Tusk there. Huge play.
Network na si
Waste some Ember's time as well. Another arrow. 2 for 2 that I've seen.
Already good start.
Probably missed 5 early, but we won't count those.
Oh, they get the pounce. Here comes the rotation from 9. Shows up. And, well, we were talking about which of the side lanes are we going to be targeting here at the Tusk, because we know he's going to rotate around. Choosing to shut down Amar a little bit. Do you think that's a player preference or about the hero?
I think it might even be just based on the situation and Neta making the call. If you look at top lane, like, it doesn't really look like he needs the gank here. The Morphling's already left the lane. Neta doing some wave dragging shenanigans as expected. The tower is taking damage. These creeps, no one's getting the XP here. Maybe he calls, you don't need to come top. Morph already left. I can come up by myself, and sure. 9 makes the smart play, gets the quick kill bottom. Now suddenly you've got pressure in all the lanes instead of just top.
Yeah, 4-1. Tundra up by 1,000 net worth early.
I mean, the big power play for me is going to be OG's supports cannot drag their cores into the game, right? These are backline supports with heals and nukes. The upside is once your cores come online, OG supports come online as well. That's why they're trying to get this blink on Amar. He's going to do some ancient
Got the epicenter. He's going to throw it out here. He's going to do some ancient farming right into the nose of Tundra, apparently, while Taiga is going to be chased down by 9 here. No hope to be able to save him. Amar popped the healing salve underneath this sandstorm, while the rest of Tundra trying to get the last hits.
Got a sentry, it seems.
Nice trying to hold the aggro out of the sandstorm.
Yeah. Very nicely played, and he gets a little bit of damage. Now they see him. Oh, the pounce barely off the mark. And Bro strikes over the side. Now BGM is here to be able to help him out. Amar just on the sliver of HP. They can't quite see him. They're going to be able to kill Skeeter as well. BGM to the rescue, and now 9 may be the 3rd pickup as OG. Oh, beautiful shards. BGM doesn't quite have a lot of mana. Does he have enough to be able to jump over to the other side? His slide is not going to be good enough. He has plenty of remnants, but the mana is the real issue. They fed him some Magos, not good enough.
Great fight for OG. I mean, we're talking about enabling the Sand King, getting him to blink. If Sand King dies and you lose that stack, you're absolutely screwed going into this mid game. Now they have a very good fighting chance to get the Sand King online, push towards this Maelstrom on Ember, who again, who's having the best game in this game right now? It's BZM.
Yeah, he is very farmed. I mean, you can... Uh-oh.
Nice shot. Burst down Amar with the help of the birds to keep that chain stun going. Snake King, even though he missed that arrow earlier, lands recovery 1, gets another kill on Amar, continuing to shut him down bottom of all the cores right now.
Yeah, I mean, such clutch play from Snake King, honestly. Going there and not letting the Snake King, sit in the trees and sit there and defend forever because you don't have detection. Snake King immediately up there has 2 sentries, puts sneaky one in the trees. Amar doesn't expect it, goes down. Like, that's really painful. You're 800 away from this blink. You already farmed your ancient stack. Like, where are you going to get this gold from? There's more pressure from Tundra coming. Your mid tower is under attack soon. Your heroes are under attack. Your triangle. And the Snake King can't really contribute.
You have to weather the storm here. You have to do it through this Ember, too. Like, OG needs to fight through this Ember Spear right now. Ideally, keep this mid tower alive as long as they can. There's going to be some move to collapse on it, likely coming out from Tundra here in the next 5 minutes or so.
And shutting down the Sand King holding that top tower does also speed up your mid rotation.
You don't want to let him sit up there and just delay the game. You want to have this Visage be able to progress through the objectives he wants to do. Maybe a little triangle farm on the menu as well, and I mean, he is really farmed. This is going to be a fast raid pack.
And that's probably what, once he gets that raid pack, then we're trying to take down that mid tower, right?
I think there's some move that can come out, either to the jungles, you can go triangle. You want to use it to get the 5-man going, because I don't think OG...
That was so greedy. He really tried to hold it for 9, but ultimately Soxa did have to pick it up.
Pretty clutch from Soxa to click it there at the end and not like hope 9 got it. Like that was pretty clutch. I mean, I think
I would have left it for you though.
I appreciate that.
Otherwise, you were going to yell at me after the game.
Let's keep that off broadcast. Thank you.
Power runes, man.
I mean, I think what Neta's doing here is something that is pretty cute and like something Faith Beyond's done in the past, but occasionally when these offlaners that can farm Ancients, if you don't feel like you have the ability to go mid for whatever reason, maybe OG has too many heroes there, you rescind a little bit, you farm the Ancients, you get your pot on this level 7, now suddenly, have this little bit stronger time, maybe a minute later, and I think that's something that Tundra is more willing to do than a lot of other teams, who maybe lose a little bit of focus, maybe they force this mid push a bit too much, waste some time, now suddenly their economy gets hurt a lot, and OG, starts to creep back a little bit.
This is the Slark Diffusal. We're on a level 7. Amar's just channeling.
Yeah, he's... Ooh, okay. Snowball, they're going to go for Misha here. Amar still trying to set up. Good save from Taiga. The Crystal Maiden's still eventually going to die. And look at that. Soxa gets a really nice toss back onto the Oracle as well. Taiga does what he can, but ultimately he's just going to be throwing damage around before he eventually dies and gives another stack over to Skeeter.
Man, the amount of pump fakes from Amar. I thought he knew that smoke was coming. I was like, oh my, seriously? How does he know? But I think they were just, again, anticipating this mid move. They had the Sand King blink. They had the Amber Maelstrom. Maybe Tundra's a little too fast, caught him off guard, and that mid tower going down is really going to open up the map here. It's going to open up the Roche down the line more as well. They didn't get the fight. I think that's the fight that OG wanted more than anything, right? Like, you want to be able to take that fight with the blink, with the Maelstrom around that tier 1 that can protect your supports. Instead, you just get collapsed on. Now, where's your next opportunity to fight? Now you got to kind of play the map, make an aggressive move of your own. This is a nice move. It connects.
Soxa just throws the tiny does what he can, but he is going to be the victim of this smoke. But what is OG going to do with that? Support pick-off doesn't necessarily mean you can put pressure on the mid-tower or anything.
No, they wanted Slark or Tusk out of that move.
Yeah. Very cute.
That is a very Tusk thing.
First the punch, then the high five.
I can't kill you, but I'm going to sit here and annoy you. I'm going to cast my spells. You're going to be mildly irritated. But there's more coming now, and yeah, I mean, the map being small like this, OG's heroes, they can only really kill you out of small.
Oh, they surprised him, but the shrink mark went off just in time, and now that is actually made 9 into death here because OG, they actually brought the full party here. Everybody but Amar is hanging out in this Radiant jungle.
Yeah, a bit rushed from Tundra. To be honest, I'm surprised they're not pushing things a little bit more. The Slark having the Diffusal Blade.
Ooh, good sentry laid out. Spotted Skeeter.
He knows.
He actually thought maybe there was a ward or something to be able to deal with the sentry in time.
Master tier Slark carrying his own sentries. That's how you know someone's a Slark player.
I mean, nowadays, Slarks are incentivized to do it. Find those wards, they're worth so much.
Was it his sentry, though, or did someone else buy it for him? Because there's a difference.
No, surely he bought it because he wants the bounty for it.
He bought it. Oh, no, he planted it. I can't see. GG.
Looking for Amar again.
Boom, sneaking in from behind. Sox is going to be able to get the toss back, and they land the pounce immediately out of
Dami niyan.
Burrow strike in a second, but he can't get it off in time. That pounce just lasted too long, and the TP had to be canceled, so this is a free
Walang
tower push.
mapusang OG.
Yeah, pretty cool adaptation from Tundra. They're not sneaking, staying up there in the top lane, sort of keeping it pushed in after 9 died up there, and they say, okay, that's fine. So now you can stay there. We're going to go across the map with the rest of the heroes. We're not afraid. You know, our cores don't need to farm. We're going to connect them. We're going to fight with them. We don't need our supports to be in every move. So Snake's just sort of chilling up there, and the cores go down and take this tower. They pressure the Sand King, and now suddenly maybe your main woods are under threat, or you have to waste a glyph on this tier 2 bottom, and then you have the next tier 2. Yeah, there's the glyph.
That's a unique aspect of Mirana as a support, right? It kind of functions like those hoodwinks or something, because he could be up there and probably won't die because of his mobility. But Soxa, well, he doesn't have the same kind of options, and once again will be victim of OG's aggression. They're immediately going to smoke up afterwards here, but it was underneath the high ground ward.
Yeah, he's going to break it.
9. Good job there. Breaking a bit of the smoke. OG, I know they've been spotted, but yeah, they're still going to go for that mid tower regardless.
It's low. There's a glyph here.
Free pick off on Misha, but there's going to be the jump in from BZM. He's getting caught by the birds, perhaps. The Morphling cut out of mana. Needed to go for Snake. He gets burned out of all this mana. They land the pounce there as well. And 33 is full health. Here comes the epicenter. And Misha with a great ultimate as well. The arrow! It stops the epicenter. No chance for Amar. A toss back from Soxa. What a hit with the avalanche shot combination. Bringing everybody low, and Tundra just kind of clean through the OG heroes.
Oh man, what an arrow to stop that epicenter. So much damage negated in the fight. OG cannot clean it up. I'm not sure they're going to be close with that rate pack down and put Artie on this Visage, but absolute disaster. BZM just getting his mana burned on the jump too. He just remnants straight into birds, and Skeeter sitting there like, oh, you did the pounce for me, son. Just drains all his mana, gets the stacks up. Tundra cannot ask for a better fight. And I was about to say, this game has felt very reactionary from OG in terms of being very patient, waiting for the fights, the right ones they want to take. The aggressive smoke moves I think are just hard for them this game.
Yeah, but you can see very good positioning from Tundra in this fight. It's rare you see a full duration CM ult and they lose the fight. Like they just left him alone. He pressed the CM ult and they just said, fine, do it. And they walked away and they fought on the other outer ridge. And you see, CM, she doesn't really do that much in this fight. There's not much she can do. Tundra, really, really nice positioning is fine. In crazy toss back.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Landing that combination on 3 different heroes. That was like the last nail in the coffin right there. OG, I mean, this just, you're talking about how they really set the tempo of this game. It just feels like they are very uncomfortable. This does, I wouldn't imagine, like, if you took away the logos and everything, I just wouldn't think this is OG.
Yeah, I mean, that's, sorry,
go ahead.
I mean, thank you. I think that smoke just felt very pressured. Like, you see the way Ember Remnant's in there. Like, it's very, like, we're losing. We need to make something happen. I need to catch a guy.
Pounce immediately afterwards. Manta trying to dodge a little bit of damage. She does manage to get the slight jump away just in time. The pounce faded, but 9 is just able to go for the next hero. Taiga, he was there to try and help out BZM and may have been able to do something, but does cost him his own life. And apparently cost him their tier 2 top tower as well. Things are getting very dark indeed for OG in this game 1.
The lead's going to build here. The one thing about OG is this team is very good at stalling games. Like, they understand that they are a very strong late game team. Between the 3 cores synergizing in late game fights with the net worth they can bring out. I've seen them take fights from 20k down like it was nothing. The thing they have to keep in mind is you're playing against a Slark Mirana lineup. So one, you have this Moonlight that can move people around very fast, set up a lot easier. You cannot sentry everywhere on the map, especially these deep side lanes you want to split push. And then Slark is going to run around and kill your vision. Just makes it even harder on top of that as well. So while I think OG has the heroes to split push this game out and take a later game fight with the Ember timings, I think there's also a lot of tools on Tundra's side to shut that down, just destroy the vision, and we're already seeing it. Like, you just got up some deep, dire wards, but Skeeter's running through here, and he's pinging it. And he's literally just pinging, hey guys, check around the area, get some freebies.
Yeah, I mean, they get these wards, but I think OG not that unhappy with the way the map is being split right now. You see them run all the way down bottom, Tundra reacts, and OG's already up in top lane buying some time. Like, you know, the gold lead, since they got the Aegis, not really changed very much.
Misha, that was rather bold. Anything for that extra frostbite, I guess. You just walked in melee range of the birds on that one, and Tundra's like, okay, we are already planning on pressuring some more. Ooh, Amar? Soxa really trying to force this by going behind. It does set up Amar for the opportunity. The epicenter for the Avalanche actually went out there and stalled things out, and with the Morphling already dead, there goes all your damage. Tundra, they're just way too big.
I mean, where's your damage going to come from? You already have full Wraith Pack type on this Visage.
Sand King does literally no damage at that point.
You do nothing. I think if Sand King channels all the spells and connects them on everybody, you're doing like 500 damage. And they sit there and go, what's up? You know? On top of that, you still have Aegis on the Slark. I don't think you can take these fights. I don't even think OG should really be trying to take these fights. I don't think it's possible. Even if 99% of your theory goes right. I think you have to split push this map. Maybe if you do that, your win probability isn't as high as taking that tier 2 fight. I can understand why they feel like maybe there's an opening, but this is just a rough spot to be in. And now Skeeter with the Mirana ult, nice little synergy, finding the freebies.
Quick kill on Misha, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, this comes back to, we talked about the heroes and the fact that OG's damage very, very similar, and suddenly this Wraith Pack pipe comes out, you're looking at the heroes and you're like, wow, we can't kill anyone. And when you're in that state where you're just dodging and you're just sliding around the map, it's all on the other team to mess up because they have all the power in the world. They can kill you and you can't kill them, and suddenly they're just squeezing you in. You're getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, and suddenly you have no net worth and they just throw on you.
I agree. This map is entirely Tundra's control, and like we saw earlier, they're just farming it up everywhere. I mean, Skeeter's just going into the whole team alone.
Finds an opening here. Taiga not going to be hit by the arrow, but still hit by that extra pounce. He's going to have a little bit of help here. Does, of course, have the Aegis, so it's perfectly fine for Skeeter to be super aggressive here. After all, he's setting up the rest of the team to come in from behind. Nice block in there with the shards. It's going to set up an arrow. That's going to land onto Taiga. They're going to leave their supports behind. OG full bailing out once again. They do not have the firepower to win team fights.
Galing ng Tundra talaga.
So as soon as Tundra shows up in force, they have to retreat.
This is high ground. This is Glib for sure. I think Tundra just stays around. Are you afraid of any sort of 5-on-5 at this point? No, you have all the auras. You have the drum on Snake King. He has 4 staff as well. All the Visage auras that we talked about. You have BKB on your Tusk. This is such a huge power spike at 20 minutes of the game.
What can OG do? They're literally just helpless. They're watching their buildings die. I think if Tundra went top, which, I mean, they're probably going to play it safe and farm a little more gold, wait for the right jump, but, I mean, there's the drum, the 4 staff, the Wraith Pack, the pipe, like, they've got all the Tundra items, and they're running it down your throat.
Nice. Good toss back. I mean, he just has so many setups, right? If you toss him straight up in the air, it would have been an arrow. He tosses him over the Skeeter to allow the pounce to land. Tips start coming out. Snake King, I mean, Amar, no impact, no idea. He has not had a whole lot of fun in this Sand King game, and I think so much of the story of this game comes back to the draft and where we were talking about how they were preemptively setting up for Tundra's like Zoo stuff and how they drafted a certain way specifically, and it seems to have put OG out of their own comfort zone. I mean, Amar does not look like Amar right now.
I mean, Sand King, he's a very hit or miss hero. Like, when he hits and he starts snowballing, he is super, super strong. But when you miss, it's real. It's hard.
Struggle.
I mean, he's buying Veil. How many times have we seen Amar buy Veil in his career, you know? This is not the item I think he would ideally like to be buying this deep into the game. But they're just searching for any sort of extra damage at this point.
Yeah, you can see your ult.
Oh, up with the punch, the snowball, the arrow coming in as well. The shrink morph is doing its work, but now they've got the pounce, and that's going to be good enough. Misha, freezing field, but he just dies too damn quickly. BCM, he's going to be locked down. Amar goes through, hits the Pro Strike, only onto 1. They're focusing on 33, but he is super tanky, and Skeeter is completely uncontested. 1 by 1, he will just knock down these heroes, take away their agility, and that is it. OG. Well, GG out. no contest. Tundra 26-7 in this game one. This had to have been a hell of a confidence boost here on the main stage of TI.
I feel like Tundra got to run their playbook exactly how they want to. And I think one of the big things about that draft in that game is OG knew that the zoo was coming, right? They left it in the bans. You know they can always pick this Visage at any point and flex all the other heroes to wherever they want to flex them, you know, usual. So you know this raid pack type is coming. You know this is Tundra's game, but they had a huge amount of magical AoE, and I think if they're ahead out of the early game, you can take those early tower defenses and take the aggressive smokes to Tundra. But that lane phase, again, like Quinn's talking about, it's hard to outlane this team to such a degree that you're in that spot to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, they're just on the back foot this entire game. You can feel this pressure from this Visage. Like, if you just looked at top lane alone, it's just so scary. You're more likely getting kicked out by this one hero, you know, and you really just don't want to happen, especially when it's Netta. He's buying these items. Like, you can just feel the push coming, and what are you going to do?
Yeah, they didn't even need to bring the Tusk up there to force him out.
Yeah.
We were thinking, oh, they have to bring 9 up here to force the Morph out. The Visage is so strong, he has such an early 6, he just kicked him to the jungle himself. Yep. You're in trouble now. Amar has to go up there to defend the tower. He gets arrowed by Snaking with his Crimson, and what are you going to do?
You know what Tundra is going to do, but you have to be able to find a way to be able to address it here in this series, and maybe our panel has some good ideas about that.
I'm going to find out, Cap, Quinn, and SPG. Thank you so much. That was a very dominant performance in the opening game of the series, Tundra versus OG. And at some point, when watching the games, I was like, why does this Morphling not have anything? Why did that Morphling not have anything?
I mean, it's the laning stage. They were. Yeah, sorry, it's my fault that they lost. No, it's this position for Tiny that did like. I thought the hero was going to fall off a little bit after the recent changes, but then people figured out, you know, we're going to take the 3-grab level 1 and be able to...
You can lane.
Yeah, you can actually lane. You're not. You don't need to use as much mana as you did before, where you went for Toss and the Avalanche, and also this is super strong laner. Like Morphling, you need to be very careful how you're going to approach. And one thing I always liked about 33 as a player is all the small items that he buys. Like, he's just going to buy every possible small item in the lane to be able to just win that lane and snowball. Because he knows that most of the time he's playing those zoo heroes and will give them momentum.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just so impressed that a team with a position 5 Murano won so convincingly, right? Because I feel like this hero in the hands of another team in the first phase as the hard support would not have looked like that. So also an incredibly impressive performance from Snaking. He was hitting the arrows without any setup. There was that really cool epicenter cancel in the bottom jungle fight where he basically just won the fight for his team. So really good stuff coming out there. It was just, for me, I could simplify this game to a very simple concept, which is the only anti-zoo hero, or the hero they were dependent on entirely, on the side of OG to kind of stabilize them and fight back in this game for them was the Sand King. And Tundra just focused all of their early game resources, all of their rotations to going down to Sand King's lane, killing Amar over and over and chasing him into the triangle at minute 8. And sure, maybe they got a return kill or 2, but it just was not enough. That Sand King didn't come online early enough, and Visage was just able to take the entire map.
I totally agree. That's the exact thing that I was looking at as well. I don't know if it's a Sand King thing or if it's an Amar thing that Tundra was looking to punish, but the way that OG likes to play Amar on this Sand King is they stack Ancients for him, they stack the hard camp for him, and he plays as a carry, farming those stacks to get his Blink Dagger. So they contested the Ancients, and he was so salty about that he epied them while the Ancients while Tundra was there contesting it. And then
I don't care, I hit creeps.
Exactly.
Amar right there.
And then he goes for the recovery play of sitting in the safe lane and defending the tower for as long as possible to get the blink, which is what you do on Sand King to get the blink usually if you don't have Ancient stacks. And Snaking was there already with the Sentry. So it's like Tundra was just like, okay, if we punish Amar with this Sand King strategy, don't let him get the blink dagger, we're going to snowball on them. And they did. They were right.
Yeah, they also focused, Tundra focused on Amar in the ban phase as well to make sure that there was not really that many.
Give him the Sand King, punish it.
Sand King is like, okay, we can deal with the Sand King. You know, maybe you don't want to face the Razor, the Timber, or the Mars. Just remove those, and you got a manageable Amar hero, which is not always an easy thing to do. But it felt like Tundra had a very easy game. Do want to also take it back a little bit to the draft because we did open with the Crystal Maiden Ember on the side of OG Lacoste, and that's fairly unusual. First of all, to have Crystal Maiden first pick, but also instantly with that Ember, it didn't feel like that really had a big impact for them in that game.
Definitely not. I mean, if you just look at the win rate of the certain heroes, like Crystal Maiden, yeah, she's really up there. But the Ember Spirit, like this hero always pops up when the games like really matter. And I feel like he tends to underperform as a hero. I don't think it's specific to like players playing it, because you know it's BZM. He definitely knows how to play the hero. It's just something about the hero at the moment that doesn't feel as good to play. Like other spirits definitely feel much better.
I think Quinn pointed something out during the game that was pretty interesting about like Ember versus Tusk, and the fact that if the game is kind of like stagnant and both teams are just farming, Ember sits in a lane and just constantly sleight of fist whoever's there, and then pushes the creep wave out too now, because the hero damage and the creep damage is the same. So that's really beneficial for Ember to be playing in a stagnant game, and Tundra did not give that to them. They were constantly contesting, constantly running in and taking the farm from the other jungle and not their own. So it's like a game like that just doesn't favor Ember, and I think the reason we see a trend that Ember falls off around TI is because there's a lot of 5-manning and running around and aggression at TI.
Yeah, it is back to the drawing board for OG, of course, after that first game. Gives us a little bit of a breather as well, and we're going to have an extra bit of a breather with Slacks and Casey.
Oh, I don't know about a breather. Dude.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello. So Slacks had a really good idea for a bit, but before you explain it, I have to draw.
All right, go ahead.
I have to draw attention to something.
Yeah?
Did you pee your pants?
No, I'm not a little pee-pee boy. I was watching the game and I got excited. I didn't think it would be such a stomp. Real excited. No, I did a Dota capitalist, you know, and wanted the water bottle deal. It was a bad move, but it's exciting over here. Very humid as well.
Yeah. So we thought it would be cool to talk to the people sitting in these two seats.
These two seats. Now, you guys at home might not know how close the audience is to the stage. I am literally walking on it. This is illegal. Don't do this, you people in the crowd. But you are this close, yet no one has decided to take what I call the Thunderdome seats. These mother suckers, you can almost touch a pro player. It's incredible.
Please don't touch.
Don't touch them. No, they have many diseases. But at the end, anyway, we thought we would find the two biggest fans in the arena for OG and Tundra, and they don't have to sit here. Don't worry. I forgot about the bit. We weren't supposed to tell them about that, but don't worry about it. All right, I'm gonna go find a Tundra fan. All right.
Okay.
Who's a Tundra fan? Oh, we got a Bill.
Oh boy.
Deal? These boys seem excited. Hello. Hello?
Hello.
Can you name one person on Tundra?
9.
Okay, all right. Actually, Tundra fan?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I watch every match.
Really? What do you like so much about Tundra?
9.
Oh, okay, thank you. Very creative. In fact, the jersey, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Tundra. Okay, real fan. Real fan right there.
It's the jersey he wear on J-Storm. It's his jersey.
This is actually his jersey. His skin was in this.
Yes, his sweat.
How did you know that? How did you get your hands on this?
I will show you 9's older brother.
Oh!
Hello, guys.
What do you think about your younger bro?
I don't know. I'm sitting here right now, so I think he reached the first step of his dream.
Oh, okay. Well, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and I can be
Fabio
here too.
Castro.
It's very funny.
All right, it's getting too emotional for me. Get your ass up. We're going to put you in the front right here, my friend. Wow, the biggest Thunder fan. Whack it up. Get to your seat.
Okay, we got to play fair here. Now we need to get the biggest OG fan in the house. Oh, wow. You're all huge fans.
Guys,
over here.
You fair-weather fans, my God.
Your scarf is upside down. Otherwise, it looks great. Can you turn it up? Excuse me. Pardon me.
Oh, yeah.
No, get out of my way.
Run, Casey.
Get out of my... Oh, excuse me.
That's
Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Excuse
me. Pardon me. Sorry. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Pardon
me. Excuse me. Sir, your name?
Lindsay.
And how long have you been a
big OG fan?
Since the beginning, since Monkey Business.
OG
What do you think about this squad's chances this year?
I think they have a lot of talent. You know, they might be a bit nervous, they're a bit young, but I think they can persevere and they can really get going.
Think we're going to push it to a game 3?
Definitely.
All right. Are you willing to sit next to a fan of not OG? Because you're sitting by all OG.
Yeah, let's bring it.
Yeah! Come on!
Give it up, OG lovers!
Come on up here. Watch your step. Oh my God, you're taller than I thought. I turned around like, let's go. Oh, hello. Jeez. All right. Okay.
All right, international friendship.
All right. Sit down. Sit down. Can we see a friendly handshake?
Yes! Now don't move for the rest of the day. You two are standing right here. All right. Look at that. The community coming together, being BFFs.
I'm sorry for this whole crowd. I picked the tallest man to sit in the front seat. We will. Can you scooch down? Just thank you.
There you go. Hell yeah.
All right. Who's ready to see this go to game 3? See? All right. We'll see if that can happen.
Absolutely. Might go to game 2 though. We're gonna find out soon. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Tall People Problems.
Game 3.
In the front, indeed, can relate. Let's talk about what adjustments we need to see if we want to get that game 3, because I think there's a lot of fans, regardless of whether you're cheering for Tundra or OG, you want to see that third game. And Effie, adjustments, where are you starting?
I think for the most part, if you're going to let this Visage through, or one of these Zoo Heroes through, you need to have more than just one solution. OG's draft really did fall apart when their Sand King couldn't have a game, so I don't think it was a matter of OG not playing well. I do think that in the first 10 minutes of that game, there were a little bit of moves that OG could have done differently, but first and foremost, just don't give Tundra their comfort, and you'll be in a much better situation already, right? We've seen all of these teams target ban 33's hero pool over and over. Just do it. It's fine. You know, forget about the Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, because his hero pool at this tournament really is not that big. I believe he played 6 heroes only so far.
Oh.
So that's bannable. The whole hero pool that hit
You've got 6 bans.
You do have, yeah.
Simple.
The math checks out.
They're pretty much all Zoo heroes, too.
Actually, you get 7 bans, so you get 1 extra.
And also something I want to see for OG to a bit different in the second game is do not play Foracle. When I say Foracle, for Oracle, I want to see Taiga playing something different, you know, something that can play a bit more aggressive in your face, because they're like sitting back quite a lot. Having Crystal Maiden, Oracle, sure, these things, 2 heroes are really good when you're ahead, but when you're playing from behind, the game gets very, very, very difficult.
It's pretty crazy if you compare Crystal Maiden, Oracle on one side, Jenkins, and on the other side you got Tiny Mirana. Something doesn't add up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the whole year, we watched a lot of Western EU DPC, and Taiga, we always said Taiga was the reason OG could play so greedy on their 3 cores, and that he just does so much in all of the lanes. And so, yeah, we'll hope to see that again here.
The thing is, I don't think that the Oracle is a problem in general. I think OG have found something very cool for themselves, where they've found a 4 that can both be defensive but also be offensive, given that his lane goes well, right? Oracle can actually bust out a serious amount of damage at level 7, and they tend to pair him with any kind of stunning offlaner like Tidehunter or Sand King. It just went so badly for them that it started to look terrible, right? So I'm not saying that OG need to change the way that they do things for their own drafts, but kind of change what they're playing against. Just make sure you don't have a Zoo that can go out of control. We've seen a lot of times in these LAN tournaments, specifically the non-DPC Riyadh Masters, when 33's hero pool got, he wasn't there actually, but in one of the tournaments, I can't remember which one, it was one of the majors, I believe, Arlington, when 33 got target banned in almost every single game in the groups, they just were not winning games.
Yeah, he is a key component to the roster and to the draft for sure, as we know with all the different Zoo heroes, as an example, that he can play for sure. I want to also give some extra credit. Of course, OG is playing with 2 of the youngest players at the international, 17 years on both Amar, that you see right here, and BZM. This is their first international. We know they've played on many stages, but of course, this is the international. A little bit of extra pressure here. And I know, Lucas, you said before the series started, we've heard it from Skeeter. He said Tundra on LAN is heralds. I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah, I said they need this win to be able to get that confidence for the rest of the tournament, and especially for this series coming into the game 2, and they got it. So yeah. I'm a little worried for OG, I'm going to be honest, because Tundra, when they're on the roll, they really are on the roll.
But it also does feel like Tundra.
The boys. The boys.
You gotta respect the camaraderie going on.
Yes.
But it really does feel like that of all the European teams, Tundra is one of the teams that is most confident in playing against OG for reasons we've talked about before. Just in the way that the DPC system is set up,
why they
often play against each other, they scrim against each other too, and even when OG is looking fire hot, they still lose to Tundra in the DPC format.
Yeah, I mean, going into this game, for me, the question is how does OG want to adjust? Because I think there's no clear-cut answer to that. Obviously, they left in the Zoo Heroes intentionally with the idea that they were going to counter it with, potentially the Sand King is a big part of that, which they've been doing throughout the group stages. And the question is, for me, do they feel like Tundra countered their counter too well? Like, do they go and pick the Sand King again? And are they confident enough to just keep doing what's been working for them? Or has Tundra figured them out and they do something different? They try to get the Timber earlier or something like that.
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah, when we were watching the game, Jenkins, you noticed something about the itemization, the starting items.
All right, it is time for game 2. Let's get into the draft.
OG versus Tundra Esports. Game 2.
Game 2, ayan na.
Yes, drafting time. Continue your thoughts.
Yeah, you're right. I did notice something about it. Back to you, Shiver.
Great. No, we need to talk about something that I thought was the big elephant in the room. I was watching the draft, and we heard great analysis coming out from Purge earlier about some of the more contested heroes and stuff. Marcy ignored, Primal Beast ignored, Enigma only last phase banned. What's going on?
You know, I would really like for OG to pick something like a Marcy or a roaming style 4 for Taiga, and then just pick some self-sustained type of Timber Saw early on. I know that the hero isn't in the place that it used to be, but that really could be their best approach right now. It's comfort for ATF, and it also gives them an answer to the Zoo.
Yeah, I think like that was my argument, or at least the way that I was thinking about what Lacoste was saying about the Oracle. It's not that the Oracle isn't like good at providing damage and contributing to ganks. It's that the Oracle's the plus one, right? And I think Taiga, it can often look a lot better for OG when he is the one to start things, the one to do things. And Oracle doesn't really do that, even though he is active in a lot of ganks. And Marcy would let him do that. Clockwork, something like that, would let him do that.
Yeah, so they are thinking about this here, but Tundra, just go back to that Mirana. It is a hero that Sox has played. It is now a hero that Snaking has played.
It's Snaking's best hero.
So now this hero can be put on either side lane depending on which heroes they want to go here. I don't think this hero is the best hero in Dota, but Tundra are making it look really good.
Yeah, I mean, something that we mentioned, Tundra is trying to break the game. Like, how often do you see position 5 Mirana? And also not starting with the arrow, starting with the Starstorm instead. Reading the recent changes, testing things out, so, these numbers are much higher.
Yeah.
They're better than the arrow. And also the starting items that we wanted to mention, but Jenkins always wanted to be a fool.
Lots of mangoes.
It was 3 mangoes on Slark. Mirana did start with 4 branches, 6 tangos, and the Fairy Fire being able to trade with whatever comes at her. And okay, this is a bit of an adjustment from OG.
Yeah, very cute Primal Beast coming up.
But I do like this more than the Ember already, because Primal Beast as a hero, right, he's flexible in that you can put him on the mid lane, the off lane. You can also have him played as a position 4, the way that Liquid have done it throughout the group stage.
Even 5 is good, honestly.
Yeah. So this hero can give you a lot, but also he's capable of fighting back with very little, right? His lane doesn't have to go incredibly well, even though usually it does.
It does.
And it's just so easy for him to respond to Tundra's early game aggression, right? He has this insane gap close ability that makes him just close off this distance.
You never lack damage with this hero on your team either. Like, he does so much damage with Trample, and it scales too.
And you also do have a hero that goes in without needing an item, something that did happen in the previous game where Sanking can't just run in. You did have Crystal Maiden and Oracle as your supports, so you are relying on that Blink Dagger. This time around, Primal Beast can just go in, have an Oracle behind you, which means that you don't need to care too much. There's going to be Oracle that's going to save you, and something that Jenkins pointed out, you're always going to have enough damage.
That's a really good point. And I just think that this Primal Beast can do so much with so little even early on, without even getting runes, it's easy for Primal Beast to just walk back base, TP to a lane, and almost always
kill
get
somebody,
a kill.
get back to mid before the creep wave hits the tower.
So often when a mid hero can't get runes, it kind of really sucks for them because you don't know if a side lane TP is going to translate to a kill. Because when you want to go back to your base, it's best to just go to a side lane, get a kill, and go back mid. A lot of heroes can lose so much by doing that, but Primal Beast isn't one of those heroes. Because
just runs over cliffs to get back.
It's just too simple for him to do it.
I think the big change to Primal Beast that made him good at going in without items, like you guys were mentioning, is the fact that you can use your Uproar during the ult now. Because when you go in and you use the ult, it drives a lot of the focus onto you, and so you just get max Uproar stacks immediately, and then all of a sudden everybody's slowed to a crawl. And you have this massive amount of armor, and yeah, just a massive amount of armor on the hero that has the highest strength gain in the entire game is it's a lot of HP to chew through.
Do you know what looks like a really good hero for Tundra, though? I think they have played it once or twice too already, but the Shadow Demon versus the Primal Beast and the Oracle, while having Mirana on your team, you got to set up for the arrow, but you also get Purge to just. The Purge stops everything that Primal Beast wants to do, right? It stops him from charging, it stops his trample from doing any damage. You also have the disruption to save an ally. It just gives you a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tundra go for it here.
Yeah, it's a hard counter to Oracle too, right?
Yeah.
The constant purge on the heals that are coming through when Oracle presses the ult. That one feels really bad to play against.
And if you play 4 and get an early Ags, it just gives you so much more that you can do in the game too. And we've seen that Tundra doesn't mind giving up farm priority to the supports when they need to.
Yeah, at the moment, most of the bans on the side of OG are targeted seemingly to 9. Tusk, of course, we've seen him on the Tusk mid quite a few times, Tiny as well. And now the Luna removed for Skeeter, and there's the Marcy.
Oh, Marcy
Primal Beast on one.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't expect that one to happen. Usually it's like either banned or you get one.
It's actually one of the sickest combos in Dota too. Like, they happen to be the two OP new heroes, so that already is interesting to see them on one team. But the move speed that Marcy provides, and then throwing people back into trample, it's one of the nastiest combos ever. It really makes it so that if this Primal Beast is going to be a core, which it looks like it probably is given these heroes, his scaling with trample is going to be, it's just so much damage.
Yeah, that looks like the Spooky 3 coming out from there already. Of course, we have seen Tundra prioritizing the Visage this time earlier out of fear for it getting banned out. Now we also have the Shaker. One thing, though, on the side of Tundra, I don't think, Jenkins, there's any doubt about who's playing what at this point. Or are you expecting some kind of, like, somewhere? Ooh, maybe now?
It's back.
Mid-Spirit Breaker.
Mid-Spirit Breaker?
No, still with Tundra, no. We're pretty sure where these heroes are going to go. And I mean, I really like the Earthshaker pick. I really love Earthshaker against these backline heroes like Oracle and Dazzle, because you can go in and focus a guy on the front line, and then you fissure the backline to prevent them from coming in to save. And then Marcy and Primal Beast also are two heroes that run into you and just man up on you, right? And Earthshaker's like, all right, I'll echo slam you, no big deal.
If I was an Oracle player in this game, I would have a really difficult time playing against Spirit Breaker, Shaker, like Mirana, Visage Birds. It just gets very, very difficult as time goes by.
Yeah, I will say though that having the Spirit Breaker and the Earthshaker come out together, it looks like at some point in the game, in the early game, Tundra will lack a lot of damage. We've seen how Soxa likes to rotate while 33 after he secures his lane, and he just kind of farms up, tries to get that Wraith Pack timing, tries to get that pipe timing, and he's just playing with 9 the entire time. But between Spirit Breaker and Earthshaker, they actually don't really have that much damage, so it may be a little bit different to last game in that they can't do the heavily punishing plays that they did in game 1 to OG. OG can easily live through these fights.
How's Timber not picked or banned? Am I crazy here? How isn't this a god tier Timber game now? You're against Visage Birds. You're gonna get max reactive.
When Amar was on panel, I saw I think 4 strength heroes, and Amar said, it's not a good Timber game. So I do. If someone comes to my mind when there's a Timber saw, that's definitely Amar. But
that is a Phantom Lancer. I mean, Yuragi is good at it. Don't get me wrong, but indeed against Shaker.
Against Spirit Breaker, like, you're gonna know which one is real.
Yes.
You can dodge it though if you time it correctly, if you have vision. But this is going to be most likely mid Spirit Breaker, so that means that his abilities are going to be maxed out early on, which makes things more difficult for Phantom Lancer to play the game. And one of the reasons why Tundra does have most Roshan kills per game is this Zoo. Buying all these small items that we mentioned, having this Vlads, having this raid pack early on, which does allow them to kill Roshan and then snowball, get more advantage in the early game.
And this will be the first Phantom Lancer game that OG plays this event.
The thing is, I don't think that this is a bad PL game, though. Like, I look at it, and I can see this PL doing a lot, right? Because you look at his lane versus Earthshaker and Visage, they don't really have that much kill threat on him in the laning stage until there's a rotation, or it becomes just easier to chase them, right? He can disjoint a lot of these spells and get away if he needs to. He can also farm relatively quickly, and when he does get to the point, the only threat on the team is just the Earthshaker Echo Slam. The other three heroes are pretty easy for PL. So I can honestly see this going really well for OG. And like I mentioned before, I do think Tundra are going to run into a bit of a problem where they lack some early game damage when they're playing away from the Visage, right? Once Visage is ready to fight, maybe that's not the case, but when they're playing away from him, they just have really slow damage output.
What if they put Earthshaker on the mid lane against the Primal Beast? I mean, this is not the matchup that I've seen, but it sounds a bit better than having Spirit Breaker on the mid lane.
Huh. I have seen a bit of Spirit Breaker 4 position throughout the group stage, actually.
Yes,
so
there were a couple.
I could see that being that makes the Earthshaker much better against the PL as a counter.
When he's Earthshaker as a 4 is a bit slow, especially if things are not going well. If you don't have like someone to kill the towers early on, which they do have Visage, but you never know how the laning stage is going to go. So we've seen some Earthshakers struggle to get the Blink Dagger, opting for the Shard sometimes when they cannot get that Blink Dagger.
Well, with the flex potential in mind, the 9 plays Visage sometimes, so there's that. We've seen Mirana coming out from the off lane, and we carry Mirana, who knows? You know, there's if you're taking it that way, then I think there's everything still possible for
9 did play mid Mirana.
He also did that. Yeah. And there's a lot of potential. I mean, it's Tundra. There always is a lot of unusual hero matchups in terms of lanes. But with that in mind, they can just wait it out, see what OG goes for with their last and final pick, and then match up the lanes the way they think is beneficial for them.
OG need their last pick to be able to fight really early and fight into this Visage, not like last game. I think they need something that's just online with no resources, and it's just unfortunate that there's no Pango in this game. It gets banned out. That's one of the best heroes to fit the bill for you there.
Yeah, Pango would have been really nice, like stunning the birds, stunning the Earthshaker and the Spirit Breaker who are gonna, jump in there. I mean, there's still Timber, but the question is like, is Timber too like? He'll sit in a lane and farm. Like maybe he's too do nothing.
There's Puck still for OG.
I
can see the Puck working out. It's really solid against Spirit Breaker too.
This is a good response to what OG has at the moment. Well, this Lifestealer is not afraid of any of these heroes, and it's a good counter to Primal Beast.
Yep, and Tundra seems to be fairly confident that their heroes already answer the PL, of course, because PL against Lifestealer is definitely a PL favored matchup, but on both sides they're saying yes, there are some counters, but we're still confident in our hero pick. I mean, 3 strength heroes and a Visage who's going to give you max reactive stacks. It already felt good, and then the Lifestealer coming out. There's just not much pressure on a Timber.
And now that we know that it's a mid-Primal Beast, we can be certain that OG are going to be able to fight into Tundra early on too, because Primal Beast can offer that to you the same way that a Pango does. We just assume that it would be comboed up with the Marcy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? You're having a Timbersaw who can kind of self-sustain on the lane enables Marcy to go play with the Primal Beast instead of the Primal Beast coming to them.
Yep, she's like the best roamer in the game, so it's funny. Like anytime you come up with this hero is really good in a lane with another one, it's like, well, then you could throw it mid too because she roams mid. She's the best roamer to go mid in the patch.
Yep, and in the end, it's going to be Spirit Breaker played by 9, the old school combo, Lifestealer plus Spirit Breaker. That's going to be very interesting to watch.
So the thing is, Tundra are playing for a specific timing, and I think that if they kind of mess it up a little bit, then the Timbersaw and the PL are going to scale incredibly well and carry OG to victory here. But if Tundra can pull off what they did in Game 1, could be difficult for OG, but I think OG are much better equipped this time around.
From what I can hear from you guys, you feel that OG in the laning stage has got a better solution to what Tundra has this time, so they should be able to properly play their game plan this time around.
Definitely. It'll be a game. We'll get to see a mid-game.
I think they'll do. I honestly think OG will win this one, but we'll see. I don't want to jinx them.
All right, no jinxing is happening here on the side of Tundra. The heroes were picked that we were expecting by the players, so we will see indeed the Mirana position 5 once again. We will see the Shaker on position 4. There's nothing unusual there other than, I mean, unusual is still Spirit Breaker mid. Very curious how that will play out. Do we have a Spirit Breaker versus Primal Beast? Have we seen that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Any reference points?
I was thinking about it, and I guess there's some cool stuff like Bulldoze versus Pulverize, but and then he can charge fast, so if he sees the Primal Beast...
They both charge. They can both just charge.
Yeah, they'll charge into you.
What happens if Spirit Breaker's charging and Primal Beast is... they charge into each other?
We're going to find out what happens when that indeed plays itself out. We're heading over to Cat, SPG, and Quinn for the answer to that.
Hey, game 2, game 2.
That's right. We're heading into game 2 here. Our panel has already stated, hey, this is looking like a much better setup. Quinn, in fact, backstage was saying, yeah, this game actually looks playable. What changed in the draft that we feel so confident that OG is going to have a better time game 2?
I think the lanes are much easier for OG to function. I also think whenever you look at the way the damage is dealt this game compared to the prior game, if anything, I would say Tundra is more in terms of this similar low damage types of thing. You have Shaker, you have Spirit Breaker, you have Potom, who without a really good start is not super high damage, Life Stealer. It's a lot of these sort of very mid-range damage heroes sort of go from the front. You're against a Timbersaw, you're against an Oracle, Primal who's tankier than the Ember last game, PL who has very, very good scaling this game. I think there's a lot of dynamics that are nicer for OG this game.
Yeah, I think the two heroes that OG want going into the series, in a sense, are Pango, which is getting first phase banned. I don't think they're ever going to get it. And to me, the Timber. I think Timber is, outside of the Tide, the one hero Amar plays that can have a really good early game and then be that bulwark in the mid game versus what we saw last game, which is Tundra going high ground in 20 minutes, right? Timbersaw thrives in that environment as long as he gets a good start. And I mean, we're looking at the best Timbersaw player in the world right now. I've watched this guy all season long destroy people on Timbersaw, and I expect nothing else. Like, this is the time to show up. We were joking about it, but if you looked at those last ban phase, go back 3 months, they banned Razor and Viper last 2, and he got Timber. These were the 3 that were first phase banned, and he always got 1. So very much in Amar's comfort zone. Obviously, the hero's a bit different now, but my expectations are just as high.
Yeah, I mean, he's someone who understands the hero at such a level. His item build from game to game, you'll see it shift like crazy. One game, he'll go the classic, the Hood, Kaya Sanj. The game against us, he had like a 4-staff, a Yules, a Halberd.
Yeah.
Some crazy builds. He bought it like no Kaya. Dude understands the hero at a really deep level.
I remember watching that game and thinking, like, I've never seen so much utility out of Amar before in my life.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was super right for the game.
Definitely going to be a very different change of pace. I'm also curious about this mid matchup. The panel discussed a little bit the Spirit Breaker versus the Primal Beast. This matchup's very weird, right? Because you're, as I say that, and already off to a different pace. That Timbersaw lane getting damage done between the heavy nuke damage. Snaking pays the price with level 1 Starstorm.
Yeah, it seems Snaking just really underestimated the firepower of this lane. That's very awkward. But yeah, back to this. I mean, we don't ever see this matchup. What is this?
I don't think anybody's ever seen this matchup. Maybe
Quinn,
only
have you ever played this one?
I've never played or seen this. It looks like it might be Spirit Breaker favored.
Yeah, Quinn, walk us through the details of this matchup.
Yeah, really get into the minutia.
So Unga Bunga. That's most of it. Yeah.
He's walking him down.
Oh, there it is. You said it. You know who's goofy. It's just who bigger, you know? Who bigger? That's all it is. And Primal, yeah, Primal Beast has got the uproar. He's the biggest yeller.
I'm not sure what happened. Maybe 9 charged him aggressively to try and stop him from CSing, and then he got yelled on. He might have like pushed it a bit too much, because I think what should happen is both of the 70 damage Unga Bunga heroes should just like CS realistically for most of the lane. But I think he might have got a little too aggressive, and it's a pretty costly death. You get behind on levels, and suddenly maybe this starts happening more.
Yeah, he's being pressured again by BCM.
I mean, it seems like you have to save this charge for the trample disconnect, you know, and if that's on cooldown, matchup looks not that much fun. On top of that, this Bulldoze working with how the Primal Beast ults worked isn't that great because you can't status resist it. It's kind of it's a weird matchup, right? I'm not sure if the planar pocket thing is still in there too.
The planar pocket completely negates his ult.
It just ends, right?
It just negates. So this is a very weird matchup on how the spells interact. I don't know. We might see some crazy stuff, but I'm a mid spear breaker. I mean, you can't not love it, right? Charge on charge.
We're going to have a lot of fun with this one, that's for certain. Bottom lane, 33 under pressure here. You're going to have to throw out the Fisher. They throw some damage back to Rocky. Rocky's okay. Man, he was really thinking he doesn't even have Phantom Rush. There was no way he was going to do anything there.
I mean, he might regret that Lance. Now, pretty much 0 mana, so if he ever gets Soul Assumption, he's not going to have a way to dodge it with no Doppelganger. Right? No more kill potential with no more Lances either, so he's going to be in CS and chill mode for the rest of this lane now with no mana, realistically.
That said, I feel like OG's a bit happier with CS and chill with the PL versus this as opposed to the Morph. Because the PL can actually hit the early diffuser, Manta, Heart, whatever order you want to go to get those items, and suddenly Visage teamfight becomes a lot more annoying, right? You have a great Wraith Pack killer, you have a great hero that can go and tank up a lot of the early attention spells and suddenly turn the tide. I feel like OG's a lot happier with this laning phase than last game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've also got a lot better ways to rebuff this Visage if he goes to your tower. You've got a Timber who can TP in. Good luck killing him this game. You got a Primal who can gank the Visage. Once PL gets this Diffu, Visage just can't just kick him out on his own. Like, PL's going to come in and say, yeah, come fight me. I'll burn all your mana. I'll kill you, you know? So I think Visage, this game compared to last game, it is not even close to the same like level of terror.
I agree. You're going to arrow Timbersaw under his tower and dive him? It might be a different story.
So it looks like OG, CS-wise, pretty happy with all their lanes. The Phantom Lancer, who's bottom of the bunch, really isn't that far behind. Seems like mid lane's going very well, which is a little surprising to me.
You know who's cooking.
As he just does not seem to match up well against this 4 Oracle. Misha getting a little bit low, but so is 33. Iragi
Papatayin na to.
Does have one more.
Papatayin na yan.
Final swing will get the kill. A big one. Be able to take down 33's Visage.
Already
sitting up behind in laning phase.
3 OG cores pushing the top here of CS and net worth. Very different start from last game. I think this is what they wanted to have happen last game, where that early magic damage draft can come in. This time, I think their draft's a lot more well-rounded, and they're having a way better early game. Should bode very well for them.
That was not how I
charge beat Spearbreaker charge.
That was not how I thought that interaction was going to go, and it makes me question. Like,
okay
besides
lang,
the player pocket, like, if the charge isn't going to be working, then what? Maybe it's something about the angle there, because I feel like
you just have to yell louder.
Right?
Okay. Everybody knows the mics, they have volume detection, so if you yell louder while you're charging,
it's like a DS.
Yeah, exactly. It's the 4th barrier. It gives you the charge advantage.
I mean, we have so many innovations in Dota. What's one more for this line event, you know?
Some shenanigans going on. I mean,
6 already on BZM.
This setup is pretty rough. Like, if he ever presses trample, 9 is just going to lose, like, you know, a third of his HP, maybe half.
Not looking so good here. Nice dodge there. Not getting hit by the aftershock. The Fisher may allow Soxa to get back to the tower in time.
Yeah, we saw the charge icon down there too. That was not 9 setting up a gank. That was 9 surviving the gank on mid. And now having to walk back to base. BZM with the earlier level 6 just pulverizes him back to the fountain. Taiga with some rotations. Again, 4 Oracle. OG's playbook for the event. They believe in what this hero can provide in terms of the sustain for their Tricore. And if the Tricore comes online, it's going to be a lot more powerful.
Hello. Goodbye.
He did steal the haste rune, though.
Oh, nice. That was a good pickup. Because Primal Beast with the haste rune is, I mean, that hero already, I love this Primal Beast mid. I mean, it just feels like it has so much impact. We start off with the Lance Chance qualifier. We watched Thompson play it. Even if they didn't manage to make it through that event, they still showed the strength of this mid Primal Beast. He just is everywhere around the map constantly.
Yeah, this hero is very, very strong. The kill threat he provides is crazy. He gives you initiation. He can scale like crazy. He gives you a buttload of stuns as the game progresses.
Lanes are just non-stop fighting.
Misha is going to get a bit low here, enough to push him back. Here comes the
actual charge.
First big rotation, the actual charge coming in from 9. They're going to start throwing some damage into Yuragi. They managed to force him to use the doppelganger early, which means this charge is going to be beautifully placed. Misha interrupt, but they can't quite stop it. 9 still gets off his ultimate and will be able to get the kill on BZM. BZM is now here, and he just grabs up Soxa, slams his head into the pavement, and bye supports. There's nowhere for him to run to. Taiga will gladly take that killing spree. He's like, you know what, guys? Yeah, I'm going to play the sacrificial role. I'm going to play these healers and stuff, but I still want the last hits.
This right here is not what you want to see. The Lifestealer has been kicked out of his lane, and that is a worry. If you're ever on the team with Lifesteal and he's getting forced to leave.
BZM protecting Taiga, and the setup here. Taiga secures the kill with the Purifying Flames. Dominating streak for him.
Yeah, I mean, sort of the flip script from last game. You start to worry about Tundra's damage a little bit. Suddenly, the Shaker, Spear Breaker, Nakes together. Level 3 Potom. You're looking at, you know, Timbersaw and a Primal with an Oracle behind them. You're wondering, I wonder if they're going to be able to kill these heroes as time progresses.
I don't see Amar ever dying in this game. What is actually going to kill this guy? The Visage can't do much to him. The other heroes you said not doing much. Are they going to get a fast Vessel in this game? I don't even think they're going to get a fast Urn. I mean, this guy's going to be invincible. And
oh, he's begging for a badge. Okay, they do manage to get it off of the Fissure.
Back muna.
Skeeter is joining in here. I mean, they got to do something a little bit funky here because, as you said, this game is not setting up well. So apparently all the cores are going to come into this mid area and try and chase down BZM with the Uproar. He's got some armor, so he's not the easiest to kill, but he will eventually go down.
Oh, not dead, no.
5 mana off that onslaught, no escape mechanism. That's a huge pickup for them. That is the one core they can try and abuse, because the Phantom Lancer, maybe you kill him once more or whatever, but he is going to escape to the jungle. You're not going to find him for a while. This Timbersaw is invincible. You got to try and abuse something on the map here for Tundra, and it's probably this BZM. You know, abuse him with your charge him back. OG's going to have free reign.
Oh, very good.
Right once again trying to solo kill Snake.
You know what's cooking.
Boom! Half a second off.
I mean, you could see Amara drawing circles there a second ago. Like, he's clearly a bit frustrated this Potom's able to sit up here and stall. Like, the tower probably could have died maybe a minute and a half earlier, but the Potom's up there being annoying, dragging some waves. And the move Tundra made bottom earlier, where the Oracle TP, the Marcy TP's back down there, Primal TP, suddenly this Potom gets some time up top. Nakes is just farming mid the whole time. You can see he got kicked out of the lane, but his net worth is not bad. It's considerably above the PL, so the move from Tundra bottom earlier, having pretty big dividends for slowing down this Timber a little bit inadvertently.
And with the damage problems we outlined for Tundra, it feels like Mirana actually having levels could be really important.
Yeah, those levels in Starstorm make a lot of difference.
I mean, the levels for both supports. Like, the extra Fissure levels. This Fissure is a pretty high damage nuke now, but you need the levels potentially sharding to really maximize it.
Yeah, particularly with the 10 talent, we've talked about that. How good it is with the shard and everything. It's surprising amount of damage.
This is like last game, Amar moving down bottom to defend the tower against the 33 Visage push, only now he can actually do it, right? Yeah. He is a much bigger boy with a lot more armor than that Sand King.
You know what's making.
He went and denied the rune, the fish comes out, and BZM still managed to get the charge forward.
Sneaking
is going to be grabbed up here. Slam. He doesn't have a leap, so bye-bye Sneaking. 9-4, OG, not up by a huge amount of net worth, but it does feel like they're kicking things into gear, and it's about to start snowballing against Tundra.
Oh yeah, they got all the levels in the world on BZM here, and last game, it was hard to get this Oracle in the game because their cores were behind. This game, BZM, as we're seeing, they can use the Oracle early nuke damage to help them get these kills. OG has all the damage in the world on these early games. They are also going to have double purge, right? You have Fortune's End, you have Timbersaw rushing Yules. It's another interaction that makes the game hard for 9. He's not just going to have free Bulldoze going in, charging, getting the connection, and dealing the damage. You get Yules once, you get purged once.
Check in with the teams there for a second, just seeing what they're up to, and it feels like OG will feel pretty good about that. They do have Tundra. They are going to have to start making some moves, and Skeeter once again is going to try and get involved here. bands. He's going to go infest inside of 9. They're going to try and set this up. 9 actually popping out of that smoke. Taiga's already here as well. They're going to start scouting things behind the tower. They're going to go for Amar, but Taiga is behind him. They need to be able to address his Oracle and kill him quickly. They get that fast kill, and now Amar, let's see if they can chase him down. Saksa was on the other side of things. He's going to need a lot of stuns, and the rest of OG, yeah, they're here. Amar turning around with the Chakra, the Moonlight Shadow, allows them to get on top of BZM. They didn't expect this one. Even with the arrow coming in, it's not needed. They just bursted down that Primal Beast. Where was all that damage? It's the Life Stealer just pumping out a lot of damage.
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, I think this Timber TP bottom maybe looks a lot better than it actually was. I think if you compare it to like the games where this TP feels extremely powerful, there's not that much pressure on the next top. You see him just pour top and he just runs all the way down the lane. And the way this Timber is bottom, like it's not like Tundra's forced to go there. They're not getting squeezed elsewhere, you know. So he's sitting there and he's not really pressuring much. He's delaying the tower some, sure, but at any point Tundra has the map sorted themselves. So they can make this move there, and it's a bit awkward for OG.
Oh, nasakal!
Yeah, they're trying to run it back
Boom.
and get the punish without the numbers. Double core commitment for OG.
Saksa trying to intercept. It was good echo, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have the levels, no aftershock, or just level 1 rather. He's probably going to get chased down as well, and Snaking just has to fully abandon this bottom lane. OG showing up in force.
I think that was the type of skirmish they were looking for, right? It has to connect between Amar and BZM, being those frontliners, getting in there, setting up the fight. Like you said, Skeeter does get to push this top lane all the way to the tier 1. He will enjoy this time, and he's catapulting up the net worth. Yuragi not far behind, though. He got tier 1 mid on his own during all that fighting. Pretty big objective for OG they got for free, and he's cruising as well. This is a pretty damn good Phantom Lancer game.
Yeah, very scary. I think if anything, in the past couple minutes, Yuragi probably the biggest winner, having this bit of downtime where he can just ignore everything, pretend there are no other heroes in the game. He's playing World of Warcraft, and he is just collecting the gold like it's his job. And it kind of is.
A little bit of PvE action for him.
Carry player's dream.
Yes. Okay, so we talked about they don't have that many answers to Phantom Lancer. How good is Spirit Breaker in that regard? When he gets to like his Aghanim Scepter and his like the AoE charges that he does, can he be okay?
I think Spirit Breaker's fine. Like Spirit Breaker and Shaker, they both give you tools to help control the Lancer a little bit. In the very late game, I think the Spirit Breaker matchup gets better because his damage gets amped a lot, right? If we're talking like Sange and Kaya territory with Ags and you're just getting huge charge throughs. You can also take the fight on the backline with the Breaker and kind of ignore the PL a little bit.
Sure.
With the Visage Birds coming in to help, can be a route they go. In terms of direct counters though, maybe you're going to try and build some Maelstroms. Skeeter's already queuing one up. I mean,
you're going to need a lot of small counters put together, right? Because the Light Stealer, he really doesn't address Phantom Lancer at all.
Yeah, I mean, you have the stuns on Tundra, but you don't really have the damage. So maybe there's some point where PL doesn't have the tankiness yet. Maybe he's got a Yasha and he's working on a Manta, you know, but he doesn't have the heart yet. And maybe there's some good fight where they can abuse the stuns. But there comes a point where the heart starts coming around. Maybe it gets a little bit spooky for Tundra. There's a window there where they really lack the damage to deal with this PL.
Comes the charge.
You know what's cooking.
Don't even need to use the ultimate for BZM. Once again, Snaking's just going to the lanes that I think nobody else really wants to go to. And occasionally he'll take a death or two, but he's just trying to get something out of this.
Ule!
They want this. Oh, no.
Sakali mo.
Got knocked to the low ground, and Misha pursues after him. Oh, that wasn't what you wanted whatsoever.
Back up.
Did Misha, I wonder if Misha had the idea that, like, don't worry, guys, I'll toss him back up on the high ground. Because that is not the place he wanted to be, for certain.
I mean, there's a lot of hero displacement spells in this game.
Yeah, there is.
Like an acrobat session or something. People are going to be bounced around. I think, yeah, we see Yuragi. He's actually going S&Y here. So he's going to build S&Y into Heart. That is going to be extremely hard for Tundra to deal with. Meanwhile, BZM, he's just keeping his foot on the pedal here.
Yep, trying to go for Zoxa. They do have Skeeter showing up with a charge coming through as well. BZM may be in a bit of trouble here, but Taiga's sitting in the back. He's ready to go with the save of the False Promise. Nisha, he's going to use it there. Taiga, Nisha turns around. He does what damage he can. False Promise is going to wear out. He probably will die here, but at least he did some damage on his way out. Taiga almost getting charged. They lose vision. Now they get into the charge. Oh, the self-purge. What a beauty.
Oh, you know what's cooking.
BZM knocking back 4. He'll bring down Snaking first. With the invest inside of 9, they're going to be able to get a little bit of a reset here. But is OG going to keep pursuing? Is Tundra going to fight back underneath this tower? Both teams posturing, feinting, but ultimately not pulling the trigger.
What a sick Fortune's end by Taiga there. Catches them both, prevents the charge connection, gets the purge as well. And BZM is just ramping.
The damage is just overwhelming. A DD for BZM. He sees the charge in from 9 and knows, hey, that's a freebie. That's all me right there.
Yeah, I mean, here's where the map starts to get a little bit spooky for Dire. Suddenly, things are really open. This PL has a lot of free reign, and Tundra still hasn't taken this bottom tier 1. All the towers still up. You start looking at places where you can realistically get kills, and those places are few and far between. The biggest one being this bottom area, and OG is taking advantage and winning those fights. So, where is Tundra going to open things up?
Yeah, there's only one place Tundra can fight, and it's always Amar sitting here, preventing them from doing that. Nine's going to TP down, but he's just stuck here too. He's trying to get the Shadow Blade, an item that can help them open up some of these areas, make it scarier for the PL to push deep. It has to connect with something though. I don't think the Spearbreaker has enough damage on his own. It has to connect with the Mirana or the Earthshaker on top. Soxa is choosing to go Shard over the Blink, so he will play off those fissures, got the levels of it, needs some extra Aftershock.
Yeah, it makes sense. It feels like they do need the impact right now, right? I mean, we start stalling out the game any longer, we get to the point you were talking about, right? Where the Phantom Lancer is too tanky for them to deal with.
Yeah, it is very spooky. I mean, Avery talks about this Spearbreaker being able to pick people off a little more, but...
Oy, binabalibag na naman!
Skeeter does still have the rage. No Infest, though, so he's going to have to back out. BZM realizing that he actually still has some capabilities of fighting here, especially with the rest of OG backing him up.
Tundra was smoking there. I think they really wanted to be there at that moment to take the fight, turn it around with the Lifestealer.
They still have an opportunity, maybe to go the first down. BZM to get him. And the jump in from Nisha puts him in a nasty position. Skeeter should be able to finish this up. Once again, there's going to be the false promise, but Misha knows he's dead. He'll just go down fighting where he can. Mark's going to show up. He's dead. Overextending himself. Oh, Uragi has overextended himself. And the Fisher straight over onto Amar with a nice touch there from Soxa as well.
All right, Tundra striking back with this random river fight that just connected off the back of that smoke. BZM did not get BKB off or anything. That's a completely different fight if it goes the other way. Moonlight Shadow. This spell, it works at TI for a reason. Snaking, busting it out, doing a huge amount of work off the back of the smokes in this ult.
I feel like this Primal Beast just dies so quickly whenever Skeeter's in the... I wonder if he should build some sort of armor on him. I mean, he's only got 6 base armor.
Yeah, he might need a plate mail, or maybe he just needs to come in late and not be the one getting beat on by the snakes. I mean, this whole fighting situation here, I think, maybe there's an element of people who played at TI several times versus some new players. I think BZM, not getting the BKB off and being slightly out of range of the Oracle. There's a lot of like little small things there that are slightly messed up that, ends up costing you pretty big. Your PL dies.
Snaking, not able to get that second leaf off in time. Misha grabs him, stuns him, and brings him down to the grave with Lamar picking up the killing spree.
That's it. I think OG, they are playing this game very fast, and they have a lot of wiggle room to it, in my opinion. Yeah, like Tundra needs a lot more of those fights before I think they feel very confident going into this late game. And again, this is OG's playbook, right? You have the Amar damage dealing offlaner. You have this Tricore with the power of the sustain behind it. This is a scary lineup to scale into. This Primal Beast can also scale like a monster. I mean, you're talking about Ags, Shivas, Shard down the road. This hero's spooky in the late game. So you have to worry about this PL timings if you're Tundra, but you also have to worry about what happens after that if you get past that point. And they're doing a good job of, equalizing the net worth differential here. Soxa has got a lot of farm in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Like, he's almost a blink on top of the Shard. Those fights helping him. OG want to keep the pace up, looking for 33.
The birds are going to drop, stopping that channel. Shouldn't be a problem here for 33 to get out, but maybe Tundra wants to go back in. They see Amar. Skeeter leading the charge. He's going to start slowing him down. The Maelstrom actually does a little bit of damage there. BZM, he was trying to hunt down Soxa. Now the turnaround Fisher, and once again, he's just getting to 100 to 0. No BKB going on. 33. Uragi was trying to dress him to be able to eat through that cloak, but now Tundra playing together with back to 33. Made sure the Phantom Lancer wasn't a problem. Now they're going to try and chase down some more heroes, and that's going to be Taiga. Once again, he's following his course into battle, but when they lose that fight, he has no way out. And he is just the +1 after every lost team fight.
Some rare mistakes from BZM, honestly. A player who's been extremely dominant over the past year. Just not getting the BKB off, not getting the DD off, maybe feeling a bit antsy, feeling like, man, we're so strong, I want to fight Tundra. They're like just out of the reach. You know, he tries for this charge, but he reaches a bit too far, getting a little bit too thirsty for that fight, and it's a big kill. I mean, like Avery said, they need a lot of these. Like, Tundra keeps winning these small fights, and it feels nice, but it's not like a game-ending thing, you know? But at some point, they add up a bit too much, and maybe the pendulum swings back into Tundra's favor.
Yeah, every one of these little skirmishes you lose, you're putting your PL timing back a little bit, right? Yeah. And that's the timing that you want to hit and get the Roshan and get the full map control going. That timing's a little worse every one of these skirmishes he loses, and also for BZM.
Yeah, I can
check in with the teams.
He wants to charge. Hello.
I'm going.
How much can we fight? Go. I'm here. Can you heal? Push in one. Shake us up. I don't like, please. I don't like, shake so much. I die.
The call for the Yules there. I mean, if they had gotten that +1 hero, then that would have been such a massive difference, but
I think a pretty good sign they were able to call that off. I think sometimes when your core players maybe a bit nervous, they can get roped into some stuff, and him saying, no, I don't like this, I'm not doing this, I'm gonna die. Like, I think having that awareness and not getting, you know, pulled into something you don't like, I think is very clutch.
Oh, this could be deadly.
This is the blink reveal too.
This is the blink reveal. He's going to go and with this smoke get a really nice lane work. But if the smoke breaks right here, he's going to go for it. Fisher goes out.
Kayo dyan.
Felt already, but the damage still isn't there. They need more fall from the rest of the team. Skinner's trying to do what he can with the ball.
You know what's cooking.
He's going to go back in. He needs that agent.
Nakakuha ng primal beast. Nakabog ka na. Skeeter tayo.
Down to the ground and he's dead. Misha, he's going to fall, but the fight is won. And Tundra are on the retreat. 33 going to be chased down by BZM.
Dabugan mo.
Bad primal
habol lang.
slows him
may
down.
use na to. Habol lang, may
And they're
use
just
na.
keep the vision. 33 has no way out of this one, I think.
Nice, pwesto.
They're going to catch up to him.
Nice, wala na mana.
That is going to be 3 heroes dying.
Ayos lang, nagbabay time lang yan. Patay na rin yan.
What a turn that could have been if only Tundra had been there with more heroes. Saksa hit the entry, but there was no follow-up.
Huge amount of damage on that jump. That's the power of the Oracle, though. Keeps those cores alive, and more importantly, it's not BZM going down first. Means he gets brief spells, free BKB this time, no misclicks or any bad clicks that fight. Gets the Aegis Snatch as well.
Yeah,
now
the Zoomer hands
in a comfortable position.
The Zoomer hands come in handy. It's crazy how much impact these fights where everyone is just clicking Roche and somebody clicks it first. Like, it has such a giant impact in the game. Maybe if Nakes takes that, the fight swings the other way. But, you know, now suddenly Tundra's sort of in that position where they really don't want to take that fight.
Shout out to BZM for that positioning there. Him being able to charge back in was super important.
And even Misha is just staying alive in these fights for a huge amount of time. There's a lot of sustain on this OG lineup, and if you run out of damage, the damage from Tundra is pretty discreet. You have your spells, you throw out the visual, the charge. They live through that, gives PL the turn. It just helps these fights stay even longer. Tundra need to think about who they're prioritizing these fights, who they're jumping, who they're going on, syncing the damage up with the stuns, and then maybe resetting, right? You don't want to get caught in a situation where you're giving too much time for PL without the control alone. Maybe the one upside is Aegis is not on that Phantom Lancer. Yeah. The sieging is a bit worse from OG, but that said, I don't think Yaragi's too scared. BZM definitely isn't.
No, he is not scared at all. They're going to once again do the turnaround with a Fisher and put some damage onto him. But of course, not only does he have Oracle, he's got the Aegis, he's got a BKB.
Charge from behind.
Out there. Ooh, this is interesting. Manage gets two. The most important hero, Oracle, dies first, and Misha's going to fall too. BZM has already lost his Aegis. Tundra, this charge in from 9 may have just set them up for a fantastic team fight. The second part, he's going to get the charge on through. Doesn't actually hit the real Phantom Lancer, but the charge comes in from BZM this time with the onslaught. He's going to go for the BKB TP out, just make sure he stays alive. Thanks to the uproar, that extra armor is going to go to work.
What a disaster. What a charge angle from 9.
How did he get that?
He was just in enemy jungle farming after the Lost Roche fight. Just comes in from behind. He had the charge on the Primal Beast you showed. Ends up catching the Oracle with the Infest. Don't mind if I do right there, sir.
I mean, I think 9 quietly playing a really really good game. I think keeping up this level of net worth on a Spearbreaker, especially after such a rough start, after the map being kind of scary, like him having this 10,000 net worth, having this BKB, continuing the scaling is really important, not only for like their continued scaling, but also just like it's so important for their heroes that he's able to have this net worth. I think Nine's played a really good game so far.
Yeah, Spearbreaker is one of those as a core, it kind of snowballs in that regard, right? If you get to the Shadow Blade, Aghanim Scepter and such, and you one-shot waves, then you just continue to build up on those items. But if you don't get to that point, you just become another support, perhaps. Uh-oh. He's going to maybe have to blow the BKB. Fish is going to come through. Really good setup. Another Iseko. They're going to change it on Yuragi. Oh, the onside. It's not enough to be able to save him. The BKB goes out from 9. They go for the invest. 9 can keep the charge going up, but he's immediately. He had a laser focus. He is looking out for that Oracle. He's going to and now they're going to be able to get the Timber Saw as well.
Boom.
9. Really good save. I mean, Skeeter jumping inside of him enabled that in the first place, but 9 being able to find the right hero to charge every time.
Man, that's a sign of a Visage play right there, too. It didn't even look like the bird was even close, but he knows the range of the drop so well. He just barely clips him on the edge. Getting that +1 kill, like that's the time that Timber Saw. The amount of gold you get from that, the amount of time this guy's dead. Now suddenly they take over the map. The Spearbreaker gets more items. Nakes finishes off the Mjolnir, which has a really large impact dealing with this PL. And PL doesn't even have heart yet.
Yeah, I feel like OG wanted to use that Aegis to get to that PL timing, get him the heart, and then cement this game. In that last 5 minutes, Tundra's taken over this game. These charges are just nasty. You get the charge through on multiple heroes, the Infest Bomb comes out, there's a Fissure follow-up, an Aftershock follow-up on that. It's so much AoE control. There's not much spell immunity on this OG side. They just got that BKB on Amar. The BZN one he's had forever, but for the rest of these OG heroes, they're still trying to get there. I mean, Misha's trying to get to his own.
I almost feel like there's a little bit of a displacement between the Yuragi and where his items are at and how he's playing. I feel like if he has the heart, he can be like kind of frontline like he's been doing, but without that, it's just so many times he's been fissured. They've been able to, like, as you say, charge through, and just a lot of like incidental damage brings him down to like half health.
I mean, it's also about how OG wants to start the fights. It's a bit awkward for OG to find the opening. Yeah. You have this Shadowblade breaker charging around the map. Everybody's Moonlight shadowed, like Haste Rune drummed around in the back line. You're not going to find this Shaker. He has Force Staff and Blink now. Do you want to just go on the Visage? It's pretty awkward, right? Even the Nakes is invested. You don't even see these heroes.
Elite Metaphor Staff, snaking, Mule's on cooldown. He'll be able to just TP out before Nisha is able to put a stop to him. We have the Aghanim Scepter now done on the Visage, so big damage upgrade. We said damage was a problem for Tundra, and that is a huge, huge upgrade right there. BZM, though, does now have his own Aghanim Scepter, so look out for that one, and the break mechanic, too. They're sneaking.
Another charge.
BKB immediately going to go out. They're going to try and disengage. They force something out of Amar, and if they can cleanly get out, reset, and maybe go again, they'll feel pretty good about it.
I mean, this is a dynamic we didn't really talk about that much, but while Dire may have had some damage issues earlier in the game, they have no issues of stuns. OG really not very easy to start fights. It's either a charge, it's a Marcy jump, it's an Oracle Q, not really super consistent ways. Dire has like 15 angles, 12 stuns, like they're coming from all different places, and if Radiant isn't invincible, at some point it's a little bit spooky for OG to actually start the fight, like Avery was saying.
Now Tundra just boldly going into the triangle here. Yuragi's going to start it off, though.
Yeah, once again.
Ayun, huli! Huli yung ano, Shaker! Huwag na paggalawin yan!
A little bit of force step away. Snaking helps him out and he manages to reset. Meanwhile, Skeeter put the damage and already killed Misha. They're going to find the real Phantom Lancer here. Managed to get the ultimate off on him, too. He's going to be false promise. They need to be able to save him. BZM right in the middle of things. Trying to go for the break, but the Vincent should hardly any damage whatsoever. It seems like Tundra as a whole are looking pretty good as the Echo goes out in the back line to try and distance himself away from the Timber Saw. And now the rest of the team starts funneling in. They weren't able to get that change done. Visage needs to get out as well. Fortunately, that Aghanim Scepter allowing him to fly away. He's keeping on top of Yuragi, while Amar did find a little cover to be able to TP out. So both the sidelines are going to be able to retreat and reset, but Tundra, once again, walking away the victors of the team fights. When was the last time OG won a fight?
When was the last time they killed a good target? I mean, we're talking about fights. It's just so hard to latch on to any of these heroes for OG. I mean, the stuns are pretty much on BZM to lock somebody down so Amar can get the damage out. They're surviving for a decent amount of time, but even that Shaker kill, that is the best target they can get in these fights. Find the Shaker on the back line, take him out. You remove so much control. He gets the force out, and he's living. Now all of a sudden, this fight is super weird, right? There's going to be more fissures coming in. You have to kind of try and fight around your Phantom Lancer, but He's getting his ass beat. I mean,
yeah, it really was. Once again, BZM didn't pop the BKB right away. He got hit by the Visage stun as he charged in.
A little bit costly.
And that cost him the Earthshaker kill.
I mean, it's just so annoying. There's so much random stuns in this game that you can't see.
Yeah.
Anybody can be invis charging through. Some bird's invis drops on your head. I feel
Arrow
for him.
hitting all the clutter.
Yeah, there's a random arrow in here, you know? Not an easy game.
And it's also a game where this PL here, he's not really able to solo kill people because there are so many stuns on Dire. There's so much kiting, the Force Staff, the Invis, all this garbage.
Another Infest charge.
Oh, they found the Oracle. They had the vision. They get the charge, and they also hit Nisha at the same time. So both supports already dead in this team fight. Meanwhile, Yuragi, most of his time was spent being stunned. Visage familiars and the Visage himself dropping one after the other, completely stalled out any damage he could get down during that time. Tundra is going to respect OG here. They should. A buyback went out from the Oracle, so they got a lot out of that. No reason to push their luck.
How can OG supports play? Like, you can see what Tundra is doing. Like, OG has no way to actually kill heroes unless Tundra messes up some. They're spacing them. They're abusing the stun, the invis, the force staffs. Like, Yuragi is desperately looking for a target to lock onto, but he's just getting kited, and the supports are just getting exploded instantly.
Yeah, it really does. Maybe this is, we talked about the drafting and their plan for 9. I mean, both times they drafted a hero that gets to the backline. We said OG, part of their setup here, the reason they're able to play so greedy on their cores is having these backline supports, these healers and stuff. So Tundra definitely came into this with the game plan of 9 is going to be killing Taiga over and over again.
And now if he dies again, that's that buyback cooldown as well. Yeah. You're out for a long time. It's just hard to protect this backline for OG. There's just so many ways to get in there. The birds can give vision invis. You get the charge with the infest. What actually prevents that? You need detection down and you need to use this guy. He could be a BKB'd as well. I feel like OG needs to get the 2 big items in this game. It's got to be Abyssal on the Phantom Lancer and Hex on Timber. That is a very far way away. If they get there, I think now you have the disable.
Is there anything else besides items? Is there a way they can set up the fight? I mean,
find the supports.
Yeah. Well, the supports are going to be found. It's just the side of OG. Misha getting picked off there as Tundra once again really abusing this Moonlight Shadow. I mean, Smarana as a fight position seems pretty value at this point.
At this point, you have no issue with the hero. It is doing an insane amount of work in these fights. You have limited detection, especially most of the time, you know, detection coming out from your 4 and 5. This is not a 4 and 5 duo that wants the front line to plant a sentry or something. Like, you just instantly die.
The core's got to do it because they're the ones who are up in front.
Yeah, and we actually saw OG had a gem earlier in this game. That's why they got it, because they knew they needed this vision on the front line. Yeah. That was lost a long time ago. Taiga's gem in the hands of 33 Visage for a decent amount of time now. Not easy to take these fights vision-wise, and Tundra looking for the pincer maneuver here.
Yes, they are. They found the real Yuragi. Can they get the arrow stun? Not quite. He does manage Doppelganger away to the side. They have the Fisher to stall it up, but at this point...
33 in the back, though.
Oh, he is in the back, and he's going to be able to catch. They spotted the Oracle. Their charge is coming through, and he's already dead. BZM, meanwhile, does manage to grab 33. They've broken him and managed to get through his cloak, but he dropped down into stone form, so he's good. And Skeeter now comes in with a cleanup. A charge on through. Bumping BZM. Gets a bash as well. He's good. Slammed on the Yuragi, and that is it. Triple pickup for Skeeter. Ultra kill in the end. And now it's time to go high ground. Tundra. It was looking a little suspect in the first 15 minutes. We weren't sure if they were going to be able to pull through, but they had a strong understanding of how to play up against OG. And now it's going to be a lane. It's going to be straight up tier 4s. Are we going to go for it?
They are going.
That's a
Amar. Amar buys out Ags. He's trying to get the extra damage to this.
Oh my God. The double chakrams are going to be thrown out. This could be really messy. This could be, you have a serious lead here. You don't necessarily need to do this.
If PL has to buy back hero, it would be a disaster for OG's item progression.
Let's see if they can hold. The double chakrams doing so much damage. This buyout of the Aghanim Scepter, it may just be what bails out OG, or maybe Tundra can't be done. The Visage is dead. He doesn't manage to get up the stone fort. They've already cleared through the ages as well. 9, he's going to have to jump away. The Shadow Blade back out. Saksa spotted as well. Oh no, Tundra. Now they're not even going to be able to get Elena Barracks off of that. They cleared out the tier 4s. No infest. He's got an armlet toggle to work with, but he immediately gets grabbed. The charge on through.
Nice!
He gets canceled by the
Habulin na rin yan!
BZM, and now 9 is going to be in some trouble.
Habulin
Run
na
down by
yan!
the Phantom Rush. A chance of revenge. A charge away just in time. The last bit of damage wasn't there
Nakahinga pa, nakahinga.
quite yet. Tundra Still a massive lead, don't get me wrong, but surely they would have felt very good having Elena Barracks up and not giving away those kills.
Man, that is one of those calls at TI. It's like, it's a nice edge call if it's worth it or not. They get that Phantom Lancer buyback though, so all things said, probably still slightly favoring Tundra here, just destroying that PL economy. I think you're happy to sacrifice your Lifestealer once for that, but you definitely feel good here, OG.
We need to blink, we need stuns, we need to farm things. I don't reach, it's not about hex only.
Well, you're totally right, Avery. Stuns, big problem for OG.
Yeah, they need this Hex, they need the Abyssal. The Abyssal's just off the menu now, man. I mean, this PL is never going to get there, so even more falls to Amar. That Axe purchase was pretty clutch. Helps him defend the throne there. He's on his way to Hex, but he is far. Yeah. OG trying to use this Lifestealer downtime as much as possible to get to that condition.
I thought maybe 9 spotting Yuragi there. I thought maybe they'd go for it. That would a dieback like that could just be game.
Once the game is on Amar, this game's on Amar.
Yeah.
Like this Ag, the double chakram has to connect with the Shaker, with the Visage off of a stun. Again, limited stuns, you got to make the damage count. He has to connect these spells. If you're gonna bet on one Timbersaw in the world to do it, it's probably this guy.
Yeah, they need some like sneaky wards that Tundra like walks onto. They have some ward hidden in the corner, and suddenly Tundra's on vision, and Amar gets this blink angle where he double chakrams the guy and insta-kibs the Shaker before he has time to react.
I mean, the Marcy rebound huge as well. Like that fight, Misha connects with 2 or 3. That's their best stun, right? That's gonna set up the Primal Beast engage. It's gonna set up the Timbersaw damage. A lot of this game might be coming down to Marcy. Yeah, some of these earlier fights, just the charge throughs and the chain stunning that can come out. If you're on the retreat from OG, you are not getting out for this one.
Well, all eyes then on the Misha-Amar duo. See if they can get the combination of the right initiating stun and the damage to follow it up to win a fight for OG. This is a great opportunity if they can get it. The snaking kill, maybe not so much, but the Earthshaker does manage to slip away. Now the charge on through, they couldn't even kill the pot up. Misha is now dead. Amar's looking for something to be able to hunt, but look at Saksa playing the edges here. He's ready to go back in. The charge is controlling up ECM. He's not getting anything off. Now they've got the Fisher. The chain stun onto the Phantom Lancer. Yes, a false promise goes off last second, but is he even going to be able to have the heals? He's got the heart pumping away. He starts to throw some damage over to 9, but it's just pitiful. He's going to get knocked out. The heart regen is not going to be enough, and GG is called. Tundra 2-0 over OG. They've done it again. They set themselves in a position to be able to match up against their rivals within the Western European region. They said, we are good enough to take you. They have lost some series before, but the important ones they've managed to pull through against OG, and they did it again on the most important stage of all here at TI.
You know, 4 years ago, Snaking was also top of his group. And that team had a choice between OG and LGD, and we chose OG, and it did not end well. This time around, the Dark Pact, or whatever you want to call it, has been broken to a degree, and he's able to overcome some of these past demons. It's very cool.